situation. I might point out that the coaches and many of the other university officials are wearing yellow and black ribbons, gold and black, I should say, in tribute to Street, the young man who was killed in the accident.
Yeah, just a tragedy, to say the least, and it certainly took off a little of the aura of the Indiana victory over Purdue last Tuesday night as we got into the car and drove home. That's the first news we heard, and obviously a very, very tremendous tragedy involving the Iowa Hawkeyes and their star player, Chris Street. And we wish, of course, our greatest sympathies to all the family and friends of Chris, and certainly to the Iowa staff as well. All right, let's take a look now at the starting lineups for today's ball game. First of all, for the Buckeyes under head coach Randy Ayers, now in his 4th season at the guard spots this afternoon, and they play a 3-guard lineup. They'll go with Doug Etzler, a 6-foot, 170-pound sophomore. He's out of Convoy, Ohio, averages 3.9 a game. Jamie Skelton at 6'2", 180, a junior out of Dayton, Ohio, averaging 14.9 a contest. And the other guard is Alex Davis, a 6'1", 175-pound senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, a 9.5 scoring average. Their inside players are Lawrence Funderburk, the 6'9", 225-pound junior out of Columbus, Ohio, who transferred from IU, and Ricky Dudley, the 6'7", 235-pound sophomore from Henderson, Texas. He averages 6 points per ball game. For Indiana this afternoon, it'll be the norm. Starting at the guard spots will be Damon Bailey at 6'3", 200 pounds, a junior out of Heltonville, Indiana, a 10.6 scoring average. And Greg Graham at 6'5", 204, a senior from Indianapolis, Warren Central High School. Graham is averaging 13.5 points a ball game. In the middle, Matt Nover at 6'8", 230 pounds. He's a senior from Chesterton, Indiana. He averages 11 points a ball game. And the forwards are Calvert Chaney at 6'6", 204, a senior out of Evansville, Indiana, Harrison High School. He averages 22.4 points a contest. Alan Henderson, the other forward, 6'9", 214, a sophomore from Brebeuf High School out of Indianapolis. He averages 13.6 points per ball game. The starting lineups are about to be introduced to the crowd here on hand this afternoon. And the officials for today's ball game are Ed Hightower, Jody Sylvester, and Sam Licklider is the other official out there this afternoon. So 3 veteran Big Ten officials for this ball game today. As Lawrence Funderburk is introduced to the background, he gets a pretty good rousing round of boos here this afternoon. But nevertheless, Funderburk is a man to be dealt with, and the Hoosiers will have to do so this afternoon. Funderburk and Chaney shake hands. Chaney has just been phenomenal, Max.
Don, he really has. He scored 30 points or better in the last 3 games, I guess, or the last couple of games, nearly 30 points. And he has just made some moves in there that you just don't know how a human body can do it, and has really given Indiana the leadership, too, I think. That's probably something that isn't said too much, but I really think he's supplying a lot of leadership right now.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. In fact, Al McGuire, who's doing the television color commentary this afternoon, came over and wanted to chat about all the Indiana players briefly, and he asked me about Calvert, and I said the very same thing. I said the one thing he's really improved on is his ball movement without the ball, his movement without the basketball, and he has become a tremendous leader, maybe the 3rd best Bob Knight has ever had, because I think he's really taken on that role in a great way.
Of course, he took that on during the tournament last year, and they really came on strong, and I think he's just really picked up. Of course, when you're the kind of player he is and the way you can score, you know, you can do it with actions and words in his case.
Well, we're about set for the tip-off. We'll be back with the opening of today's ball game right after we pause for the 60-second network timeout.
Let's talk electricity. I have a few words. Indiana's consumer-owned rural electric cooperatives. Quite a mouthful, huh? Well, maybe our name's so long because we do so much. Like providing reliable electric service to over 1 million people across the state. Or investing over $2 billion into bringing you the electricity that offers you necessities like lights, refrigerators, washers and dryers, and much more. Indiana's rural electric cooperatives. But you don't need to call us by name. Just know we'll be there whenever you need us.
For years, you've run on the same premium gasoline. You didn't see a clear reason to switch.
Until now.
Introducing new improved Amoco Ultimate.
Amoco Ultimate?
The only premium gasoline that's crystal clear. Refined an extra step to remove harmful impurities called PNAs.
PNAs?
Harmful impurities that can rob your engine of performance and contribute to hydrocarbon exhaust emissions. Impurities other premiums leave in. Crystal clear Amoco Ultimate.
New in this area.
You expect more from a leader.
This broadcast broadcast is authorized under rights granted by Indiana University to University Broadcasting Company and the IU Radio Network. Any rebroadcast or the use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of University Broadcasting and the IU Radio Network is prohibited. We are set for the opening tip-off. Calvert Cheney will jump against Funderburk. The tip controlled by Ohio State, and that is the first time this year that Calvert has been out-jumped for the opening time. The pass outside comes to Jamie Skelton, who circles to the left side. Bounces it off to Ricky Dudley. Dudley now gets it left side to Skelton. Down low to Davis. He drives it back outside to Skelton. Skelton fakes, looks in. Kicks it to Dudley. Dudley's 17-foot jumper is good. Ricky Dudley gets the first two of the ball game for Ohio State. Damon Bailey brings it down for Indiana. Gets it across the timeline against Davis. Damon spins it backcourt, pitches the ball to Greg Graham on the left side of the circle. Graham looks for Calvert, finds him. Calvert turns, one dribble, fires the shot up, no good. Rebound, batted away, and pulled away by Skelton for Ohio State. Down he comes quickly against Bailey, lost the handle. Ball's taken away by Damon, apparently. Down the floor, Greg Graham the other way. Spins, lays it up, and it's blocked by Thunderberg. The Nover up and in. Matt Nover gets Indiana's first two. They're tied up as Etzler goes to Skelton. Backcourt to Dudley now for the Buckeyes. Dudley, top of the key, bounces to Skelton. He flies the 17-footer, and he gets it. Jamie Skelton's first 2 points of the ball game, and the Buckeyes start off high. Here's Calvert Cheney across the timeline for IU. Calvert on the left wing, gets it outside to Greg Graham. Graham now fires it back to Calvert, baseline. Calvert fakes, drives, bounces it inside to Henderson. He turns on Funderburk, fakes, puts the shot up, and missed it, but a foul. And Funderburk will be nailed on the personal. That'll be his first of the ball game. Henderson with a nice shot fake that time, got Funderburk off his feet, and so the foul call goes against Lawrence, and Indiana's Allen Henderson will go to the stripe, time to tie things up here. Henderson of the season, 62% from the free throw line, 13.6 his scoring average. And he's been out of sorts shooting-wise with the exception of the Michigan ball game for about 4 or 5 weeks now. The shot is up and in. He's been able to hit his inside shots for the most part, but he's really struggled with his outside jumper. The Michigan game was an exception, and boy, did they need him in that contest against the Wolverines. His second toss in the air got them both. Anderson's first 2 points of the ball game. It's a tied score at 4, and Etzler takes it across the timeline for Ohio State. Etzler left wing, stops, looks inside, turns, having some trouble, finally bounces at the Funderburk baseline. Funderburk against Nover, kicks it outside to Davis, who fires and hits. Alex Davis gets his first 2 points. Down the floor comes Indiana. Greg Graham inside to Nover. Nover fakes, puts it up. Oh, he scores and a foul. What a move by Matt Nover. Dudley will be nailed on this one. That was some move by Matt Nover to get the basket and draw the foul as well. Dudley's first foul, and Nover will go to the free throw line with a look at a 3-point play here. 6-6 tie, and Nover will try to give Indiana its first lead. 18-12 on the clock, first half, just underway. Assembly Hall, sold-out crowd of over 17,000, and Matt fires the shot short. Rebound, Calvert Cheney. Calvert takes it out of trouble to Greg Graham. Graham, top of the key against Etzler, looks it inside, drives on him, a whistle away from the ball, and Cheney is called for a foul. Bob Knight is up, and he can't believe it. Cheney gets nailed in his first foul of the ball game. Cheney's been a victim of a lot of grabbing and holding, as we spoke to Bob Knight in the pregame show about that very thing. And Calvert gets nailed on a foul as I think he tried to rid himself of a defender who was hanging on. They saw the second violation there. Here's Davis. Davis now the dribble, looks at left, stops, fires it outside, almost threw it away. Skelton comes up with it. He drives on Cheney rather, fires the shot, no good, and Matt Nover clears the board. Gets it to Allen Henderson, outside to Damon Bailey, across the timeline, Bailey with it to the right side. Damon on the wing, lets it fly from 18, missed the shot, rebound tapped out. Etzler's got it, fast break pass, knocked away by Bailey, out of bounds, good defensive play. Damon was beaten, Max, but he got a hand up in the air and just deflected it enough for it to go out of bounds.
And luckily he did, because it was a breakaway. They would have gotten an easy 2 points, perhaps.
Still tied up at 6. Here's Funderburk. Lets the left-handed long jump shot go, and it's no good. The rebound is knocked away, and we get a foul call nailed on Allen Henderson. And Bob Knight is really roaring right now on Sid Licklider, Sam Licklider, we should say, who made the call. That's the first foul on Henderson. That's team foul 2 against IU. The inbound will be made by Davis to Funderburk outside to Etzler. Etzler gets it back to Davis on the left wing. He pulls up, then drives it left, fires the long three-pointer. Got it. Alex Davis drills his second field goal, his first 3, and suddenly the Buckeyes lead at 9-6. Greg Graham on the left wing. Fires it outside to Calvert. He fakes the 3. Fires it to Graham. Graham lets the 3 fly, and he misses. Rebound pulled out of there by Bailey. Damon clears to Gregg, fakes again, drives, 10-foot pass inside, knocked away to Henderson. Henderson puts it up, couldn't get it. Rebound battle for Henderson again, and he slams it in. Alan Henderson's first field goal, a 9-8 score. Indiana down by 1. Here is Doug Etzler to Davis. Davis on the dribble. Looks for help, passes to Skelton. He drives it left side against Greg Graham. Skelton moves it to the left wing. Gets it outside, knocked away. Greg Graham steals. Graham drives in against Funderburk, puts it up, and a blocking foul will be nailed on Funderburk. Funderburk's got his second personal. And Funderburk tried to get himself set to draw the charge, but never did. Graham made a nice move that time and draws the foul. Out of the game, Funderburk. He'll sit down into the roar of the crowd in the background, as you can tell. And coming into the ball game is Antonio Watson, a 6'9 sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio. So Graham goes to the stripe. Greg looking for 2 shots here. First attempt is in the air. It's good. Greg Graham's first point of the ball game. He'll have one more. 9-9 tie. Indiana and Ohio State. Early going with 16:34 on the clock as Graham eyes number 2 and drills it. Greg's first 2. Indiana on top 10-9. Indiana's at 4 out of 5 free tosses thus far. Here's Etzler. Basketball dribble to Alex Davis. Davis on the wing left. Turns around. Looks for help. Gets it to Skelton. Baseline move. Pulls up inside. Threw it up and it went in. Jamie Skelton with a pretty incredible move of his own on that underneath reverse. And he makes it 11-10 Ohio State. Here's the left side pass to Henderson. Inside to Nover. Nover got hammered. And we got a whistle and the foul called against Ohio State. Nover's route to the basket was rejected pretty strongly. He moved 3 feet in the air that time from a push. Dudley is nailed on the foul, and he's got his second. So the 2 front line players for the Buckeyes have 2, and both are going to be sitting down. Funderburk will come back in, replacing Dudley. Etzler is also checked out of the lineup, and the new face in there and placing him is Greg Simpson, a 6'1 freshman. Here's Calvert. Party footer good. Cheney's first 2. So the Hoosiers take the lead back at 12-11. Down the floor with the basketball comes Simpson. Simpson on the dribble. Starts it to the right. Looks, finds Alex Davis. Davis gives it back to Simpson on the wing. Simpson holds on Bailey, then dribbles it to the left. Drives in the paint. Stops. Looks inside. Passes to Watson, who fires from 15, and he got it. Well, I tell you, Ohio State is red hot from the field. His first 2 of the ball game, and it's 13-12. The Bucks again by 1. Greg Graham on the right wing dribble against Simpson. Graham drives baseline, pulls up, bounces it out to Damon. Bailey holds, gets it into Nover. Turns, fires a 12-footer, short rebound, Funderburk. Indiana back on defense as Simpson drives it to the right, then comes back left, gives the pass to Davis on the right wing, fires it out to Funderburk, top of the key. He circles left with the dribble, tries to take it inside, pulls up, kicks it back out to Davis. Davis drives, he fires it off to Skelton, who pumps a 3, and no good this time with the rebound to Cheney. Down the floor to Damon. Bailey fires from 15 feet. He couldn't get it. Rebound tip, no good. Rebound battle for, knocked away. Calvert Cheney comes up with it. Cheney drives it right. He pulls up and he's fouled by Skelton. So Skelton has got his first personal foul. That is team foul number 5 against Ohio State now as the Hoosiers trail 13-12 as timeout is being called. The score, Indiana down by 1 with 14:48 to go in the first half. 13-12 the count. We'll be back after the 60-second network break.
Great game for copyright, Bob. And how about that star player, Bob? Oh, the Canon NP6060 copier. Fires a copy a second. And the Canon NP6060 has amazing depth. Holds 1,000,000 sheets. Now, Bob. Okay, 6100. Backed by professional service technicians. Millions of them. Bob. Okay, a lot. And each has 70 years of experience. Bob. Well, 5's the average.
Copyright. The smart choice.
The Canon NP6060 is just plain amazing. And it's from Copyright. Call them today. Hey, speaking of ears, Bob. Yeah, Bob. Are those gray hairs I see?
Selling here, buying there, the Century 21 VIP Referral Network is there to ease the worry. Relocating can be a frustrating experience. That's why you need the Century 21 VIP Referral Network. As the largest real estate organization in the world, they offer trained specialists ready to sell your current home, find your next, and ease all of the headaches in between. Thinking about moving? Call your local Century 21 office today or call 1-800-886-4849. Each office independently owned and operated.
Well, back once again at the Assembly Hall where Indiana is trailing 13-12 with 14:48 to go in the first half of play to Ohio State.
Well, Don, you were right about Ohio State being red hot to start this game. They came in here shooting only 40% in Big Ten play, but they hit 6 out of their first 8 shots. They're now 6 out of 9, 67.7. Indiana, on the other hand, just at 40%, hitting on 4 of 10. Indiana is controlling the boards, however, out-rebounding Ohio State 8-3, as you would imagine, being a bit taller than they are. Cheney with 3 rebounds leads the Hoosiers right now.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
You're listening to 1550 AM WCBL and 103.9 FM WIMC Crawfordsville.
Indiana will take the ball out of bounds underneath their own hoop. Chris Reynolds checks in for Damon Bailey, Indiana's first substitution in this ball game. And let's see, who else do we have in there? Apparently Winston is now in. Otis Winston, a 6'5 freshman, is checked in for Ohio State. Here's Graham in backcourt to Reynolds. Reynolds stops his dribble, bounces to Allen Henderson, who fires an 18-footer. Off the rim, no. Rebound comes away in there to Antonio Watson. Down the floor for the Buckeyes, now Greg Simpson on the right wing, pulls up, lets it fly outside to Watson. Watson looks it in, takes it left, bounce pass deflected by Greg Graham. Nope, it was touched last out of there by Otis Winston, who just came in. So that's the third turnover by Ohio State. My apology, it was not Winston at all. It was actually Derek Anderson who lost it out of bounds. Winston is not in the ball game. In backcourt, here's Greg Graham with the ball. Graham bounces outside to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds on the dribble, gets it in and over in the high post, bounces to Greg Graham. Graham fakes the jump shot. He brings it back outside, looks for help, passes to Reynolds in the paint, tried to pass it in to Nover. It's deflected out of bounds by Antonio Watson. It'll belong to IU. 13-12 score. Indiana down by 1. Still with the ball. 24 seconds on the shot clock as Graham will inbound. Gets it into Henderson. Outside pass to Reynolds. Reynolds stops, comes back left to Greg Graham. He fakes. Again, he comes back out on the dribble. Fires to Reynolds. Reynolds into Calvert Cheney, who fakes, drives right, pulls up, jumps, and misses. The shot, the rebound to Funderburg. Funderburg gets it outside to Simpson, who drives it across the timeline quickly. Moves it right to Anderson. Anderson holds. He looks for help. Now he drives. A whistle. We got a foul call on Chris Reynolds hanging on. So Reynolds gets nailed on his first foul of the ball game. Indiana down by a point, 13-12, with 13:43 on the clock. And the one thing that impresses you so far, Max, about the Buckeyes is their quickness.
They are very quick. Their guards, particularly, are very quick. Indiana hitting just 4 of 12 right now.
Skelton, or is it Anderson? Anderson will inbound it. He lobs it to Funderburg. Funderburg gives it off to Simpson in backcourt. Simpson now on the dribble toward the left, spins back right, drives it right. Nover trying to take it away, couldn't. Simpson gives it off on the baseline to Anderson, and the whistle blows away from the ball. We got a foul call. Let's see on who. I believe Watson. Antonio Watson is nailed on the personal. That'll be his first of the ball game, and that's 16 fouls now against Ohio State. Indiana's been nailed on 3. Here's Reynolds. Jumps it off to Greg Graham in the right corner. Greg looks it low, couldn't find Henderson, comes back out to Calvert, back again to Greg. Greg now looks it to the right side, gets it to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds drives it back left to Greg Graham, who fires a 3 and missed it. The rebound, Calvert Cheney inside, put it up and in. Cheney with his 4th point, a quick jump to the hole that time, and it's 14-13. Indiana, a 1-point leader again. Here's Simpson on the right side, dribble against Reynolds to the baseline. A whistle blows and a double dribble call. Jody Sylvester made the call. 5 turnovers down the Buckeyes, and Indiana gets the ball back. as the Hoosiers lead by 1. Reynolds gives it to Greg Graham. Will cross the timeline with it. Greg Graham starts it to the left, comes back right to Reynolds. Chris gives it off to Calvert. Cheney, three-point land, won't take it. Back to Reynolds. Reynolds drives it right, pulls it back out, spins back left to Graham. Graham holds on, looks in, brings it back in the right side circle to Reynolds. Reynolds back left, it comes to Graham. Graham fakes the long jumper, passes to Calvert. He fires the three. He got it. Cheney's first three-pointer circles the rim and drops through at 17-13 Indiana. Their biggest lead at 4. Simpson in backcourt to Funderburk for Ohio State. Funderburk circles it right, passes it into Antonio Watson. He fires a jump hook and got it in. Antonio Watson's 4th point. 17-15. Indiana, a 2-point leader as Graham returns to the other side of the midcourt line and threw it away. Graham trying to hit Cheney in the cross court. Funderburk intercepts, takes it all the way, and scores. Funderburk's first field goal, and it's a 17-17 tie. Now Greg Graham passes to Chris Reynolds to Calvert Cheney. Cheney looks and brings it back out of the wing. Kicks it out to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds looks it inside, gets it to Calvert, down low, fakes, pulls up, and got the reverse layup. Cheney's got 9, and he has gotten hot all of a sudden. 19-17. The Hoosiers are on top again by 2. Backcourt pass goes to Funderburk. Now to Anderson in the corner to Simpson. A 3 on the way. He misses. Rebound Cheney. On the break, 3 on 2. Now they slow it up. Cheney gets it to Nober, and it's stripped away by Simpson. Simpson back the other way in a fast break for Ohio State. A pass inside to Funderburk, and he slams it home. Funderburk gets his 4th point, and it's a 19-19 tie. Bob Knight's going to come back with a couple of changes personnel-wise, as is Ohio State at the next break. Here is Reynolds in backcourt to Greg Graham. Graham now brings it back outside, gives it off to Chris. Reynolds off to Calvert Cheney, down low to Henderson, turns inside, turns around, fires it up, and he missed it. It was short, and the rebound comes off to Funderburk. He clears it out of there to Simpson for Ohio State. He goes right side to Anderson. Derek Anderson outside to Funderburk. Pulls up at the 15-foot line, doesn't shoot, gives the ball outside, and Greg Graham couldn't steal. Knocked it out of bounds, and here comes Bailey and Evans in. We're going to have a timeout first, however. The score, Indiana 19, Ohio State 19, with 10:31 to go first half. Back after the 60-second network timeout.
This is the sound of the most dreaded vehicle on the road today, the tow truck. Because when you hear it, you know it's going to cost you. So don't cut corners. Get the best parts money can buy. Napa. Parts built to meet or exceed original standards. And avoid the tow truck. Napa. Because there are no unimportant parts.
The Hoosier Lottery reminds basketball fans that you have to play to win.
Dave the dribbler Nelson looks for star shooter Swish Sampson for the final shot. Where is he? Oh, no, the Swishster's on the sideline signing autographs. The All-Stars lose a heartbreaker, all because of a 7-foot ego trip.
Get in the game and win. Play the Hoosier Lottery.
Get some fresh bread daily from the Hoosier Lottery. Play Daily 3 to win up to $500. Or play Daily 4, where you could win up to $5,000.
Well, back once again at the Assembly Hall, where Indiana right now is deadlocked 19-19 with Ohio State. We have 10:31 left in this first half of play.
Ohio State is really heating things up. 9 of 13 shooting right now. That's 69%. Indiana warming up a bit. 7 of 17, 41.2. Indiana out rebounding Ohio State 10-6. But right now, Ohio State's on a 6-2 run with Thunderberg supplying some of the power there. He's got a block so far, 2 assists, a steal, 3 rebounds to go with 2 of 3 shooting right now. Calvert Cheney with 4 rebounds. He's shooting 4 of 6. Right now, it's Damon Bailey and Greg Graham who are struggling again. Graham came into this game in the Big Ten shooting 63%, but Tuesday night against Purdue, he was 2 of 6. He is 0 for 3 already in this game. Bailey has missed both shots he's put up, and Alan Henderson continuing to struggle. Just 1 out of 4 shooting on his part.
Out of the floor for Indiana come Damon Bailey, Calvert Cheney, Greg Graham, Alan Henderson, and Brian Evans now in the ball game for the Hoosiers. And out of the floor for Ohio State, Tom Brandewee is in for the first time this afternoon. Simpson, Brandewey, Funderburk, Alex Davis, and Derek Anderson, the lineup for Ohio State. Backcourt, here is Simpson driving on Graham to the right side. Still in the dribble, stops, fires it off. It comes to Anderson, left side pass to Davis. Davis bounces it low into Funderburk. Scramble for the loose ball. Jump ball called. It'll belong to IU. Good job by Damon Bailey to reach in that time and help out on Funderburk, and they got the ball knocked free, and then they had to jump it up, and Indiana's possession turn gives the ball to IU, and the Hoosiers up the floor. Calvert Chaney across the timeline. Chaney bounces to Greg Graham. Graham drives it toward the right side to Calvert. Calvert fakes, then fires up the jumper and got it. Stood on the line, but he gets his 11th point anyway. Down the floor, Anderson for Ohio State. 21-19 Hoosiers. Here's Anderson across the key. Fires it up off the glass. No. Rebound. Brandewey up and in. Brandewey gets the rebound basket. His first two of the ball game. Bob Knight thought there should have been a pushing off foul on Brandewey, but no call, and it's a 21 tie. Here in backcourt is Greg Graham. Takes it inside the circle, then backs it back out on the dribble. Looks it. Bounces to Calvert. Calvert down low. Passes inside to Henderson. It bounces away to Evans. Evans drives, shoots it up, and scores! Brian Evans with a driving jump hook. He's got his first two. 23-21. Simpson the other way for Ohio State. Gets it to Alex Davis. In low to Funderburk, and a whistle. A blocking foul is called on IU. Funderburk has a great first step, and he really put the spin move that time on Brian Evans, and Evans had all he could do just to block him off from getting a bucket. He gets called for the blocking foul, however, his first, fourth team foul against Indiana. 9:18 to go in the half. The inbound comes from Anderson to Funderburk, and he travels. So the Hoosiers get the basketball and the 7th Ohio State turnover. And Calvert Chaney will inbound. Full court pressure being applied now by Ohio State. The inbound comes from Graham, or rather from Chaney to Graham, and Graham brings it down in the dribble. Quickly across the timeline against Simpson. Moves it to the right side, spins back left, stops, goes right to Brian Evans. Evans brings it outside and gets it to Damon. Damon drives it right, pulls it back out on the wing to the baseline drive, bounces into Henderson, fakes, puts it up, and no, but a foul. Allen got hammered pretty good. And this time the personal is going to be nailed, I think, on Brandewey. And they do call Tom Brandewey his first foul of the ball game. At the free throw stripe, Alan Henderson for the second time this afternoon. He's a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. And here comes Todd Leary off the Indiana bench for the first time today. Leary will check in and replace Greg Graham, who's been hustling hard out there in the first 12 minutes of this contest.
Indiana's a team 4 of 5 right now from the line. Only Matt Nover has missed his free throw in this game.
Henderson at the line with 4 points. Fires this one up, and he's 3 for 3 in the day. 5 points now for Allen. He looks for his 6th point of the ball game and will try to give Indiana that 4-point lead once again if he hits it. 8:59 of the clock, first half. Second shot is in the air, short. Rebound comes down to Chaney. Calvert kicks it out to Todd. To Bailey, fakes the 3, drives it left to Brian Evans. He fakes. He drives it inside, lobs it off to Henderson, down low. Henderson puts it up and scores. Alan Henderson's got 7. 26-21 Indiana. Up the floor, Doug Etzler back in for Ohio State to Skelton, and he kicks it inside. There's going to be a charge or no? Let's wait and see. They call Todd Leary for the foul. That's Leary's first foul of the ball game. The Buckeyes have the ball out of bounds. Inbounding, let's see. Well, they're going to go to the free throw line? They're going to the free throw line. I didn't think there was any attempt at all to shoot, but I guess I simply didn't see it. Funderburk to the stripe. And he fires the free one up. It's good. Funderburk has his 5th point of the ball game. 64% free throw shooter on the season. 8:39 of the clock. Fires up number 2 and got it. So Funderburk has 6 points in the ball game now. And coming in is Charles Macon, a 6'6", 232-pound freshman out of Michigan City, Indiana for Ohio State. Macon in for the Buckeyes as the inbounds comes Chaney to Todd Leary. Leary across the timeline. Leary takes it left side, lost the handle, got it back, looks for help. Having trouble, finally bounces it off to Calvert down low in the wing. Calvert spins and brings it back outside. Now he looks, gives to Bailey left side. Damon. Down low to Calvert. Calvert fakes, fires it up. Oh, missed it this time. Rebound inside, knocked away. Macon comes away with a rebound. Off to Etzler. Across the timeline, Etzler right wing. He pulls up, looks for help, gets it off to Skelton. Skelton reaches back out to Etzler with a pass. Now off to Davis. Davis fires a long three. Off the rebound, no good. And Alan Henderson clears to Todd Leary. Indiana on the attack. Leary fakes, drives it right, pulls up, and he is going to be, blocking foul and Macon. Todd Leary took it right down inside the line, and he will go to the free throw line for a pair. The foul call is on Macon, his first of the contest. So to the stripe, Leary, who has been an outstanding free throw shooter this year, hitting 90%. Indiana leads it by 3, 26-23. Now 4, as Leary gets his first point of the ball game. Todd averaging 4.6 points a contest and getting much more playing time this season than he has previously in his career, and he drills number 2. Here comes Nova off the bench, and we got timeout call with the score. Indiana 28, Ohio State 23. 7:54 to go in the half, back after the 60-second network timeout.
In the Hoosier State. State Farm is helping Indiana families with the free family insurance checkup. A State Farm agent is there to help you keep your car, home, life, and health insurance up to date. So the coverage you need will be there when you need it. Wherever you live, from South Bend to Sellersburg, check your local phone book. Get your free family insurance checkup.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, this is Willard Scott for True Value. We'd like to wish the Indiana University basketball team, better known as the Hoosiers, a great season. The sign of a good basketball team is knowing when to slow down the tempo and when to turn it up a notch. And working at the right speed is easy with the Master Mechanic 3/8" variable speed drill. Its powerful motor goes from 0 to 2,500 RPM. And this reversible drill is only $28.99. For personal service and low prices, bring your family to the True Value family of stores.
Well, back once again at the Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where Indiana right now is a 28-23 leader over Ohio State with 7:54 to go in the first half of play.
Well, Indiana's free throw shooting once again is helping them a great deal. They're 7 for 9 in this game, as Alice Anderson's hit 3 out of 4. Todd Leary 2 out of 2, and that's been a big factor in this game. Indiana's hit 5 of their last 7 shots. As a matter of fact, they hit 5 of 6 before Cheney just missed one. Cheney at one point there had hit 4 in a row as he'd given Indiana a bit of a cushion there that we saw just a moment ago. Ohio State for the game still shooting well, 10 of 16 for 63%. Indiana 10 of 21, 47%. We've had a lot of ties in this game, about 6 of them so far. It's making it 7 of them in this game and 4 lead changes, so it's really been bouncing back. But right now, the 5-point lead is the biggest lead for either game, for either team.
And Nova has returned to the IU lineup, giving Alan Henderson his first rest of the ball game. We got Bailey, Cheney, Leary, Nova, and Evans, the lineup for IU. Davis, Brandewee, Etzler, along with Skelton and Macon, the lineup for Ohio State. Macon will be the inbound man for the Buckeyes. Indiana with some full court pressure on. The inbound comes to Etzler. He's guarded by Cheney right now. Etzler brings it across the timeline. He moves it in backcourt to the left side. Bounces it into Macon. Macon turns, looks for help, clears it out to Skelton. Skelton pumps the 3, and no good. Rebound pulled out of there by Cheney. Calvert bounces to Todd Leary. Leary across the timeline to Calvert. Cheney takes it in the paint, fires a 15-footer around the rim and in. Cheney's got 13 points already. 30-23, Indiana by 7. Etzler to the left wing. Circles it. Then takes it down low the baseline to Brandewee, who kicks it outside to Davis. Davis to Macon. Macon turns inside, and he traveled. So the turnover against Charles Macon, the freshman out of Michigan City, and Indiana gets the ball back. That's the 8th turnover now on the Buckeyes, and sitting down is Brandewee, and Funderburk comes back in for the Bucks. The inbound pass, Cheney to Todd Leary. Leary will bring it up against Etzler across the timeline. Todd to Damon Bailey. Bailey in backcourt against Davis. Gets it into Calvert. 15-foot turnaround. No, this time short. Rebound battle for. And a pushing foul against Ohio State. And I believe Macon got nailed at it again. If so, it would be his third. It's either Etzler or Macon. We'll see. And the official signals Charles Macon. So Macon picks it up. I said 3. It's actually his second. And so Macon's got 2 quick ones. And into the ball game now, Simpson once again for Etzler for Ohio State. And the Hoosiers bring Greg Graham off the bench as Calvert Chaney sits down, and he has been phenomenal already.
He's got 7 rebounds to go with his scoring right now, so he has been a most significant player. One thing, Don, the 2 free throws that Indiana's missed, Indiana's got the rebounds both times.
Matt Nover is at the stripe, fires this one up, and it is no good. The rebound long to Funderburk for Ohio State. So Nover has missed his second try of the day from the line. He is really struggling from the stripe, 49% of the season coming into today's game, and he's 0 for 2. Funderburk, backcourt, gets it outside to Derek Anderson, who's come back in for the Bucks as well. Anderson now looks it. Can't take the three-pointer. Now he finally does, and no good, and the rebound comes off to Brian Evans. He clears to Bailey. Up court to Greg Graham. Graham takes it back outside. Looks for help, and finally clears to Brian Evans. Evans starts to swing it right, gets it to Bailey. Bailey in the lane, drives inside, puts it up. No, blocked around. Bailey got his own rebound, fakes, puts it back up, a whistle, and we get a foul called inside against the Bucks. The foul is on the floor, and I believe they called him on Alex Davis. That's his first of the ball game. That's 10 team fouls on the Bucks now. The Hoosiers go to the line as they'll start shooting 2 every time. 6:20 to go. And the Hoosiers leading by 7 as Bailey tries to stretch it. And the first is good. That's Damon Bailey's first punt of the ball game. He'll have one more shot coming. Bailey hitting 72% of his free throws this year, a 10.6 scoring average. And he'll try to make it Indiana's biggest lead of the game, and he does. Second point for Damon Bailey. Somebody moved on the line, but they didn't call it because the shot went in. So 9 now for 9 points the lead for Indiana. Here's Macon now for Ohio State. Pitches it to Davis, almost threw it away, bounces it out to Anderson. Anderson down low to Funderburk. Turnaround jump hook is no good. Rebound comes off to Todd Leary. Leary the other way across the timeline to Greg Graham. Graham drives it inside the lane, pitches to Bailey for a 3 try, and he bangs it home. Bailey's first 3, his 5th point. And there's timeout called by Ohio State. Indiana 35, Ohio State 23, 5:50 to go first half. Back after the 60-second break. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
More and more people are coming to enjoy the delicious steaks, chops, and seafood dinners available at Zock's Family Restaurant. Now Jim Zock has made a change to his taste-tempting T-bone steak dinners. Now you can have your choice of 12-ounce or big 20-ounce T-bone steaks. The 12-ounce T-bone dinner with your choice of potatoes, salad, and rolls is just $9.99, and the full 20-ounce T-bone dinner is $13.95. Stop in soon and enjoy a delicious T-bone steak dinner at Zock's Family Restaurant, Highway 231, south edge of Crawfordsville. Right now at Wills Fargo RV Sales and Service, 1993 Jayco travel trailers are coming and going. Many are going out as fast as they come in, and I'm talking about new 93 fifth wheels, travel trailers, fold-downs, everything in the RV line is available at Wills Fargo. But they do have a pretty good selection on hand as well, including some cargo trailers, utility trailers, auto carriers, and Wills Fargo is your place to find pickup caps, covers, and toppers. See them all at Wills Fargo, 1 mile east of the junction of 41 and 136 near Veedersburg.
Well, Indiana University is leading Ohio State 35-23 with 5:50 to go in this first half of play, Max, and they've started to draw away.
Well, they've had mainly because Ohio State has not scored a basket for the last 4 minutes. Their last basket came at 9:50, and we're down to 4:50 right now. They have gotten a couple of free throws through there, but Indiana has been able to pull away. Indiana's 2 for 4 on three-point shooting today. They're 12 of 25 now for 48%. They've hit 8 of their last 12 for 67%. That's during the last 7 minutes and 15 seconds. So that makes a big, big difference as Ohio State has hit only 1 out of their last 6 and only 1 out of 5 from three-point range. Calvert Chaney with 7 rebounds right now to go with his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 10 shooting. And Indiana, as you say, has pulled out now to a 12-point lead.
The Buckeyes have brought in Antonio Watson into the contest once again, along with Funderburk, Simpson, Derek Anderson, and Alex Davis. Damon Bailey, Matt Nover, Brian Evans, Greg Graham, and Todd Leary, the Hoosier lineup. 5:50 to go in the half. Indiana stretched it to a 12-point lead, their biggest. The Buckeyes on the attack. Greg Simpson will bring it across the timeline against Leary. Takes it toward the left side. Swings it back top of the key. Drives it right. Pulls up and fires, and got it. Greg Simpson with a nice one-man effort that time for his first two. 35-25. Leary across the timeline against pressure. Does a nice job of hanging on to it. Spins right. Passes in the corner to Greg Graham. Graham brings it back outside. Graham now bounces to Todd Leary. Leary moves to the left wing. Down in the corner to Brian Evans. Evans brings it back out against Funderburk. Kicks it to Leary. Now to Graham. Got a zone being played by Ohio State now. Here's Damon Bailey. Bailey bounces right to Greg Graham. Graham fakes, brings it back outside, bounces it in low and threw it away. Stolen by Davis. Stolen right back by Bailey. Damon's got it momentarily, then kicks it to Nover, and a foul call against Ohio State. Some really good hustle by Damon Bailey. And Greg Simpson is going to be called for the foul. That will be his first of the ball game. That was a scramble that time, and Bailey was in control much of it. Randy Ayers up off the bench, not saying too much, although he does a bit off the... He is talking to Sylvester a little bit over there. Not real happy right now. As Bailey goes to the stripe for a pair, he has 5 points. Now 6. Damon's 6th punt of the ball game. He's a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. In Indiana right now, from the stripe is 15 of 18.
No, Bailey
hits this one, huh?
Yeah, Bailey for the Big Ten. I'm sorry, for the Big Ten play.
He fires it in. 7 points for Damon. And he has hit 4 for 4 today. 37-25, Indiana by 12, 4:55 to go. Here's Simpson, the right side dribble for Ohio State, outside to Anderson. Anderson goes left. It comes off from Davis to Funderburk, back out to Anderson. Right side to Simpson for a 3 try. Off the mark, no. Rebound inside. Brian Evans couldn't save it, out of bounds to Ohio State. Antonio Watson was battling Brian Evans, and Evans got the last touch on it. The inbound will be done by Derek Anderson, who looks, lobs it outside to Davis. Davis drives it in the lane, pulls it out, fires a 12-footer, and got it. Alex Davis with an off-balance fadeaway jumper for his 7th point. Still a 10-point ball game at 37-27 as Bailey looks it inside, gets it out to Greg Graham. Graham, right side to Leary. Leary looks down low, then brings it back out on the dribble to Greg Graham, right wing. Greg hasn't done any scoring in this ball game other than the free throws he took earlier. Back to Bailey. Bailey now to the right, stops, goes to Leary on the wing. Todd back outside to Damon. Damon in low to Nover. Almost thrown away. It was thrown away again. A whistle blows, and we get a foul call this time, I believe, on Nover. That is Matt's first foul of the ball game. So Nover gets nailed on the personal. That's going to bring Calvert Chaney back off the bench for IU. 4 minutes and 1 second remaining in the contest. First half of play again. 5 turnovers for Indiana. Todd Leary will sit down as Calvert comes back in. Ohio State will bring it up. Indiana's committed 16 fouls now. Greg Simpson on the dribble across the timeline. Drives it in the lane, fires the shot, no. Rebound inside to Brian Evans. Clears it to Calvert. Chaney down the floor in a hurry. Right side pass thrown out of bounds. Tried to go to Greg Graham, and Graham couldn't come up with it. The pass was wide. The turnover against IU. And Randy Ayers wanted one of the Ohio State players I looked at. Apparently Antonio Watson may have gotten poked.
Yesterday in practice, the same situation happened as we just saw there, and Knight turned to Chaney and he said, your scholarship doesn't require you to pass it every time.
3:47 left. The inbound is Rick Dudley has come back in the game now for the first time in a while. Dudley back in for Ohio State. Man, is he a physical specimen. This guy looks more like a bodybuilder than he does a basketball player. Dudley kicks it out to Funderburk, right side to Derek Anderson, who fires a fadeaway, no good. And Matt Nover just batted it out of bounds. Alan Henderson's going to come off the bench for IU as Bob Knight shakes his head, walking down in front of the Hoosier bench. So Nover will check to the sideline. Alan Henderson checks in. Inbound pass will come from Anderson. Anderson fires it in backcourt. It comes to Simpson. Greg Simpson now looks at left. Indiana by 10 with 3:23 to go. Here's Simpson on a drive. Calvert Cheney got decked, and they're going to call the offensive foul. So Greg Simpson just picked up his second foul of the ball game as Calvert Cheney was knocked to the turf. And that is the 10th Buckeye turnover. 37-27 score. 3:19 to go. Hoosier basketball across the timeline to Greg Graham. Graham in backcourt to Bailey. Bailey looks right to Calvert. Cheney holds back to Damon. Damon spins in the paint, gives it back out to Greg Graham. Graham now. Back off, it comes to Bailey. Bailey looks at left, goes to Calvert. He fakes, drives right, pulls up, fires, off the glass, no. Rebound tipped away, and pulled away out of there by Dudley for Ohio State. Down the floor quickly, it goes to Simpson. He fires a 15-footer, no good. Rebound inside, Dudley puts it back up and scores. Ricky Dudley's fourth point. 37-29, the Hoosier lead cut to 8. Here's Bailey across the timeline. He looks at left, outside to Graham. Graham works on the defensive zone, takes it toward the right wing. Greg gives it back to Damon. Damon looks low, goes back to Graham, who fakes, gives to Bryant Evans for a 3-try. No good, but a whistle and a foul call goes against Dudley, who came out and hit Bryant Evans. That's going to be 3 free throws coming to Bryant Evans. So Evans will go to the line. He has a field goal to the ball game for his only 2, but Bryant Evans has been a major factor off the bench for Indiana in recent ball games. The 3-game road trip, to be specific.
He's 2 for 2 in the Big Ten. He's only missed 1 free throw all season long, 15 out of 16.
So Evans at the line as Dudley commits foul number 3, and he's replaced by Watson once again. And Bryant Evans just hit his 3rd point of the ball game, his first free throw of the day. And he has 2 more shots coming from the line. He can take it back up to a 10-point lead with this one, but he does not. He misses. A rare miss for Bryant Evans. Again, having hit 94% of his tosses so far this year from the stripe. So Bryant eyes the 3rd one, and this one is no good as well. And a battle for the rebound. It's knocked out of bounds, and it'll belong to Ohio State. So the Buckeyes have it with a 9-point deficit staring him in the face with 2:22 to go. Here comes Simpson across the timeline. Greg Simpson on the dribble right. Spins back to the top of the key. Takes it down low, down inside to Anderson, whose shot is up no good, and a foul on Alan Henderson. Henderson is going to be called for his 2nd foul of the ball game. So Alan Henderson with 2, and Derek Anderson will go to the free throw line. The 6'6 freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky, with a 6'9 scoring average. And Anderson to the stripe, having hit 69% of his free tosses this year. Here comes Matt Nover back in the game now as Henderson will sit down with the 2 fouls. So Anderson at the line. 2 shots coming. First in the air is good. That's the first point of the ball game for Derek Anderson. He'll have 1 more shot. 38-30 the score. The Hoosier lead down to 8. And he could cut it to 7. Scotton and Gray, the colors of the Buckeyes, and the second one is good. 2 points now for Anderson, and we got a 7-point Hoosier lead, 38-31. Fans start to get a little more vocal as Bailey brings it up the floor, gets it finally across the timeline to Graham. Graham circles it in backcourt, looks almost cross-courted, gets to Calvert Cheney. Calvert brings it out to Greg. Greg fakes, crosses to Bailey. Bailey fires the 3. No good. Rebound, Bryant Evans inside, and he's fouled. So Bryant Evans pulls down another big rebound and is going to go to the free throw line as this foul call goes on Alex Davis, his 2nd. So Davis with 2, and Bryant Evans once again to the free throw line. He missed his last 2. Most unusual for Evans, who is 1 of 3 on the day and has 3 points. He fires that one home. Nothing but net. He's got his 4th point of the ball game. He's now 13 of 18 on the season. And looking for his 5th point of the ball game here. He fires this one up. It is good. 5 for Evans. Indiana's on top 40-31. Back to a 9-point margin. And Jamie Skelton is in the lineup for Alex Davis now for the Bucks.
Indiana's had a long dry spell. They haven't scored in the field about 4 minutes.
1:45 left in the half. Simpson in backcourt on the dribble to the left side against Greg Graham. Drives to the baseline, pulls up inside, the ball batted out of there. Funderburk retrieves it for Ohio State. Now outside pass to Anderson, back low, and Greg Graham knocks it out of bounds. Ohio State will have it. Tom Brandewee checks into the lineup now. 40-31, IU by 9 with 1:29 to go. Bob Knight continues to talk to Jody Sylvester over there on the sideline. The inbound almost knocked away by Graham again. Simpson comes up with it to Skelton. Skelton on the right wing. Bounces out to Brandewee. Brandewee goes left to Anderson. Derek Anderson flies to Skelton. Skelton drives it right side. A whistle. And what do we got? Foul call is on Matt Nover, I think. If so, his second. So Nover gets nailed on his second personal foul. This is away from the basketball. So Nover's got 2. So Henderson and Nover each have 2 personals now for Indiana. Brandewee at the free throw line for Ohio State. 40-31 the count. The Hoosiers by 9. 1:17 left. Free throw is up a 1-1, and it is good. He's got the first one to drop. Brandewee now tosses his 3rd point of the ball game through, and he's got one more shot coming. He is only a 50% shooter on the season. The Buckeyes as a team hitting .692. And that one does not drop, and the rebound pulled out of there by Nover. Matt Nover clears it off to Damon Bailey, who'll bring it down. 1:12 remaining in the half. Damon gets it to Greg Graham. Graham bounces low to Calvert. Fade away 14-footer, no good. Rebound comes away to Ohio State. Simpson on the break. Slows it right side, takes it in the lane, bounces it outside to Skelton. He drives a baseline jump shot short. Got his own rebound, batted away again. Nover comes up with it, and it'll belong to Indiana. Apparently Skelton was on the line when he touched the ball last, so the Hoosiers get it out of bounds. 53 seconds to go. Here's Greg Graham. Calvert's missed his last couple since coming back in. 3 in a row, in fact. Bailey back off to Chaney. Chaney looks it inside. Backs it back out to Graham. Graham looks it right. Gives it to Bailey on the wing. Damon drives baseline. Back out to Nover. Nover now looks inside and comes back to Bailey. Bailey circles in backcourt to Graham. Graham down low to Brian Evans. Evans fakes, brings it back outside to Greg Graham. Shot clock's at 15. Game clock's at 22. Now Damon. Back to Calvert. Calvert fakes, turns, spins, drives it back outside, and then threw the pass to Nover, who couldn't hang on, and it goes out of bounds. Pass might have been a little bit too hard. 7 turnovers now for Indiana, and Bob Knight's going to bring, well, he was going to bring Pat Knight in, but not going to be time. 9 seconds left. Here is Greg Simpson against Graham. Drives it left, pulls up, fires it in the corner to Brandewee, who fires the shot no good. Batted away, and that's the end of the first half of play. And so, at the break here at the Assembly Hall in Bloomington, it's Indiana 40, Ohio State 32. And a very hard-fought first half of basketball here this afternoon in this Big Ten Conference meeting. 40-32, Indiana on top of Ohio State. We'll be back with our halftime show after we pause for the 60-second network timeout.
When was the last time you thought about your electricity? Never, right? Well, there's a reason for that. It's called Indiana's consumer-owned rural electric cooperatives. And we've been providing you and a million other people with reliable electric service for 55 years. And we've invested over $2 billion to bring you electricity for conveniences like TVs, refrigerators, toasters, and much more. Of course, there's a reason Indiana's rural electric cooperatives work so hard to serve you. You are, after all, our owners.
University Broadcasting Company is proud to bring you IU basketball. University Broadcasting serves Indiana with the finest in sports radio. University Broadcasting Company operates 2 sports networks and 7 radio stations, including WHHH, Hoosier 96 in Indianapolis, WBWB, B97 in Bloomington, WGCT in Ellettsville, and WAZY, Z96 in Lafayette. University Broadcasting Company is Indiana's radio broadcasting company. Thanks for listening.
Well, back once again at the Assembly Hall. We're at halftime where Indiana is leading Ohio State 40-32 at the break. Let's take a look at the individual scoring here in the first half of play. First of all, for Ohio State, starter Doug Etzler did not score, nor did he foul. Jamie Skelton had a pair of field goals, 4 points, and 1 personal. Lawrence Funderburk had a pair of field goals, a pair of free throws, 6 first half points, and 2 personal fouls. Ricky Dudley has a pair of field goals, 4 points, and he picked up 3 personals. Alex Davis with 3 field goals, one of those a three-pointer. He has 7 first half points and 2 fouls. Greg Simpson with a field goal for 2 points and 2 fouls. Derek Anderson with a pair of free throws for 2 points and no fouls. Tom Brandewie with a field goal and a free throw, 3 points and 1 foul. Charles Macon did not score, picked up 2 personal fouls. And Antonio Watson had a pair of field goals for 4 points and 1 personal foul. So the Buckeyes, pretty balanced scoring in the first half of play, led by Alex Davis, who has 7, and Lawrence Funderburk, who has 6. For Indiana, Chris Reynolds did not score, picked up 1 foul. Damon Bailey has 7 points on a 3-point field goal and 4 free throws, no fouls, 7 points for Bailey. A field goal for Nover, he has 2 points and 2 fouls. Calvert Cheney threw in 6 field goals in the first half, one of them a three-pointer. He has 13 first half points and 1 personal foul. Alan Henderson, a pair of field goals, 3 free throws, 7 first half points, and a pair of fouls. Greg Graham with a pair of free throws for 2 points and no fouls. Brian Evans has a field goal and 3 free throws, 5 first half points, and 1 foul. Todd Leary with a pair of free throws for 2 points and 1 personal foul. So Indiana at the break, led by Calvert Cheney with 13 points and 7 apiece for Damon Bailey and Alan Henderson. Max, look at those team statistics.
Well, in the first half, Indiana shot only 42 or 42.9%. That's on 12 out of 28. Ohio State not a lot better, 13 of 28, 46-4. In fact, when Ohio State went into that zone at about the 5-minute mark, Indiana did not score a basket in the entire last 5 minutes of that first half. From three-point range, Indiana was 2 of 5. Ohio State 1 of 6. From the foul line, Indiana shot 19 foul shots, hit 14 for 73%. Ohio State hit 5 out of 6. Indiana out-rebounding the Buckeyes 21-16. Calvert Cheney had 7. Matt Nover had 4. Funderburk had 4 for Ohio State. Indiana turned it over 7 times in the first half. Ohio State 11. During the final 5 minutes and 50 seconds, Ohio State was down at 12 points at that time and closed it down to what we have now, an 8-point lead at 40-32. Individually, Cheney in the first half was 6 of 12. Henderson 2 of 5. Nover 2 out of 3. Greg Graham 0 for 3. Damon Bailey 1 for 5. And that right there is a big difference for Indiana. They've got to get some scoring on the outside. For Ohio State, Funderburk 2 of 4, Dudley 2 of 2, Skelton 2 of 5, Davis 3 of 6, and Simpson 1 of 5. So that's a look at the stats as we had a bunch of ties early on, 6 of them, 4 lead changes, Indiana's largest lead at 12.
All right, we'll be back as our score at halftime is 40-32. Indiana on top of Ohio State. Baseball great Whitey Herzog will be our guest at halftime right after we pause for the 60-second timeout. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
Enjoy home-cooked food in generous portions anytime, any day of the week at the Duck Inn Diner. From breakfast with a bottomless coffee cup to sandwiches, a full dinner, or just a cup of coffee with a slice of one of Jenny's homemade pies, you won't spend a lot of money at the Duck Inn Diner on US 52 at State Road 28. Open 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
So make the day special, make it fabulous. Do yourself a flavor. Come dine with us.
What can you buy that still works like new 20 years later? A Puritan water conditioning unit. It's true. Puritan water conditioners are built to last and last and last. Puritan's success can be attributed to making the best in water conditioning equipment, selecting the proper unit for your individual needs, and keeping their customers happy with prompt, reliable service. Invest in a Puritan water conditioner today. Phone 362-6340 for a free water analysis, or stop in at 216 Lafayette Avenue in Crawfordsville.
Oh, we're at halftime with Indiana leading by a 40-32 margin. And we do have Whitey Herzog with us here this afternoon, who's here watching a game. Whitey, why Indiana? I don't associate you with Indiana University.
Well, we have some friends up here, and it just happened that this was a Sunday afternoon game, and their daughter's a senior. Her name's Wendy Rosenblum, so we came up to celebrate her birthday and, of course, to see a very good basketball game. I've known Bobby since I took over the Cardinals in 1980-81, Roger Maris, and was a good friend of mine and also Bobby, so I got to know him, and we've been coming up here the last 4 years.
What's your thoughts on his first half?
Well, actually, they could be further ahead. I mean, I really thought that Indiana right now could have a bigger margin than they got. I looked for them maybe to win this ball game by about 15, 20 points. I talked to the team yesterday, gave them a little pep talk. I told my wife last night they'd probably win by 30 today.
Well, they might do that yet, although Ohio State obviously a young team, but boy, they've got some quickness out there. They're a team to be reckoned with in the future, I think.
Yeah, Randy Ayers has done a great job there, and the young guards he has, they can get their shots off quick. Sometimes it doesn't look like they're very selective, but as far as quickness and with experience, they're going to be a good ball club in a couple of years.
Whitey, you told me yesterday that you had a chance to be a basketball player in college and opted for baseball. What's the story on that?
Yeah, really. I got out of high school, and I had 7 scholarships offered to me, one at Illinois University, one at Bradley, one at St. Louis U. And, of course, the Yankee scout came in and told me DiMaggio was getting old and that they needed a center fielder, and I signed with the Yankees, but they didn't tell me they had Mickey Mantle.
You're telling me then that you didn't play too much for the Yankees, is that it?
No, I got traded April Fool's Day 1956 to the Washington Senators, and I was a very mediocre Major League Baseball player. I was fortunate enough to play 8 years in the big leagues, but I was never what you'd call a regular.
Were you a pretty good basketball player in high school?
Well, in my time, Max, everybody was about my size. I'm talking about the guards, even in pro ball, were 5'11", 6'1", that's about it. And I could play basketball pretty well. I would have to say that was my #1 sport.
You were from where? Someplace in Southern Illinois?
Yeah, Southern Illinois, New Athens, Illinois. And at that time, they didn't have any classifications. There was no 3A, 2A, 1A. We were a little school. We went to the finals of the state in baseball. We went to the finals of the sectional in basketball. Our record was 37-2, not last year in school.
Whitey, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about baseball, but right now we need to pause. 60 seconds. Indiana leads at halftime, 40-32. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
We're making our move. On January 30th, Elston Bank and Trust Company becomes National City Bank Indiana. You'll get the same service, the same convenience that's been an Elston tradition for 140 years. And you'll get a bank that's one of the strongest and oldest in the Midwest. National City Bank. National City Bank shares the same values as you. We're dedicated to outstanding service and an impressive array of quality products. We believe in being strongly involved in the neighborhoods and communities in which we're located. Your goals are our goals, and we're here to stay. National City Bank is strong, solid, and robust. You can count on us to bring you the best banking service, so the Trust Company makes its move and be sure the best move for you. That bank, BIC.
Indiana leads the 32 margin. We're talking with Whitey Herzog, who, of course, most people remember as being manager of the Kansas City Royals, later of the St. Louis Cardinals, and now, I guess, with the Los Angeles Angels. Is that right, Whitey?
Yeah, I'm with Gene Autry's California Angels. I'm the senior vice president in charge of player personnel. We've made a few deals this year. Of course, we traded Jim Abbott, who's a fine pitcher from Michigan University, to the Yankees, and we got 3 young ball players for him, 2 pitchers and a first baseman. We think we've turned the corner a little bit. We're going to have about 5 or 6 young ball players playing in the lineup every day this week, and I think we're made a step in the right direction.
You know, I saw Gene Autry when I was a kid in the movies. What kind of a guy is Gene Autry?
Well, so I'm like Gussie Bush. I got to work for Gussie for 10 years, and of course he died on September 29th, 1989, and that's Gene Autry's birthday. He was 85th this past year. He's getting up there. He's never been in the World Series. 33 years in baseball. He's been 1 strike away once, 1 out away, but never has gotten to the World Series. I would really love to get him there, but it's going to be tough. The way the state of the game is today and the money problems we're having, everything's predicated on money, Max, not on ability, not on... When you talk about players today, you don't really talk about running, hitting, and throwing. You say how many years he got in the big leagues, how much money he's making, and then if you're satisfied, you can have those numbers, you'll make a trade for him.
Has that been the most significant change since you've been there?
Yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to be, and it really takes a lot of the fun out of it. It really does, Matt.
There must have been some real characters in baseball, though, in your years there. Have there been?
Oh, yeah. I got to play with some characters. I don't think we have as many today. I don't think they let them be, the Dizzy Deans, the Jimmy Pearsalls, the Clint Courtneys, guys like that. You know, they were colorful guys. And we used to sit in the lobby of the hotel and just laugh all day, and we get on there. I think when we traveled by train also, Max, we got to play, be together a lot more, and we got to know each other better. We'd tell jokes, we'd talk more baseball. Today, everybody's in a hurry, and the only time you ever see him is at the ballpark.
Casey Stengel, you talked a little bit about him yesterday. Is he really as crazy as he sounded?
Well, Casey was sly like a fox. You know, he came to the Yankees, and he won 10 pennants in 12 years, and he still wasn't at 500 as a manager because he managed some awful bad ball clubs early in his career, namely the old Brooklyn Dodgers and the Boston Braves and teams like that. But I knew Stengel very well. 1 month before he died, he came over to Anaheim to see me. I was coaching for the Angels at the time. We became very close friends, and he really knew a lot about baseball. As a fundamentalist, I think he was as good as any manager I've ever played for.
You want to get back and manage again?
I don't think so. I've got 15 years of it, and it's not etched in stone, Max, that I wouldn't do it. But right now, I have no desire to do it. Unless I would really be enthusiastic about it, I don't think I should come back.
What was the best team you ever managed?
Best team I ever managed in 1977, Kansas City Royals. We won 102 ball games. We won 24 out of 25 in September, won the pennant, and we had the Yankees down 2-1 and lost in the 9th inning of the 5th game. But that was the best team I ever had.
Who was the best player you ever managed?
Well, in St. Louis, it was Ozzie Smith. I mean, in Kansas City, it was George Brett. Both of them didn't need managers. They were just great individuals. They played hard every day, and both of them are very great ball players. Both of them are going to be Hall of Famers.
Whitey, I appreciate your coming by and visiting for the here. I hope you enjoy yourself up here. Yesterday was almost baseball weather here. It won't be long till spring training will be starting.
Max, I'll probably see you again next year. I always try to make a trip here. I'll go over to Kansas March to see them play. I try to get down to Arkansas and see them play at Barnhill, so I try to make the rounds. I'm a great college basketball fan.
Well, when you come back the next time, count on joining us here at halftime, and you can show me your World Series ring you got for Gene Autry.
Okay, thank you, Max. I hope that's true.
All right. Whitey Herzog visiting with us here at halftime about the college game and about baseball. Well, Indiana and the Ohio State Buckeyes have both returned to the playing court right now. Here are the official stats that have just been presented to us. Indiana officially in that first half shot 12 of 32. That's just 37.5 officially. From Ohio State's standpoint, they shot 13 of 28. That's 46.4%. So a big difference there as far as Indiana is concerned, as they have not shot that poorly in some time. From three-point range, Ohio State was 1 of 6, Indiana 2 of 5. At the foul line, Indiana 14 of 19. Ohio State was 5 of 6 in that first half of play. So that's a look at the stats. It's a 40-32 game. Indiana's up by 8 at the moment, and this second half will be getting underway very shortly.
So we will be back and start the second half of this ball game right after we pause for the 60-second network timeout.
Okay, there are certain things I want to know.
Mom, look what Chip put in his mouth.
And certain things I wish I didn't know. Now, how much do I really need to know about drying clothes?
How much money do you want to save? Natural gas is the ideal energy.
Do you remember those cold nights when you used to haul in firewood and make strange growling noises when you tried to light the fire? Do you miss it?
I kind of miss the growling noises. Natural gas fireplaces are warm, clean, and efficient. Natural gas is the ideal energy. Gee, this pot roast is great. It tastes different.
Yeah, I used beef instead of bologna.
Oh, a touch of extravagance, my pet?
Yeah, we can afford it now that we're cooking with gas.
Today's technology means you're cooking for less with natural gas, the ideal energy. For new information on today's natural gas technology and the ideal energy, call Indiana Gas at 1-800-777-4414.
Well, this Indiana basketball team leading at halftime 40-32 as we're about to get the second half of this contest underway. Indiana did not shoot it well at all in the first half, but still maintain an 8-point lead at halftime. The Buckeyes playing scrappy basketball and a very impressive ball club from a quickness standpoint. Tough to deal with, but Indiana's done all right thus far, and if they ever get their shooting going a little bit, might be able to draw away in this contest. But Big Ten ball this year is tough no matter where you play it or who you play against, it would seem. There are going to be no real breathers in this season as you look at the 18-game Big Ten schedule. Wisconsin all of a sudden has gotten hot. They're playing good ball. Minnesota is very tough, always at home. They still struggle on the road now and then. Michigan had a tough time at home yesterday against Illinois, and the Illini are starting to make a sound or two. Ohio State will have the ball to start the second half. Davis, Skelton, Funderburk, along with Simpson and Watson of the lineup for Ohio State. The Hoosiers have Bailey, Henderson, Brian Evans, along with Calvert Chaney and Greg Graham. So Nover, the only starter in the ball game on the bench for the Hoosiers to start the second half. Here is Simpson driving it left side of the wing. Stops, looks for help, fires it backcourt to Skelton to Davis. Davis now looks in. Looks for Watson, can't find him, looking for help. And finally bounces it low. It comes to Funderburk, who lays it up and missed the shot. Alan Henderson with a rebound. Comes off the Bailey to Calvert. Baseline jump shot in the air. Got it. Calvert Chaney has got 15 points. And the Hoosiers lead it 42-32. Down the floor, Simpson for Ohio State. To the right wing, brings it back out to Skelton. Left side pass to Davis. Down low to Funderburk. He fires it back to Davis from 15. He throws it in. Alex Davis has got his 9th point. 42-34. Indiana by 8. Down the floor quickly. Henderson on the left side baseline drive. Lost the handle out of bounds. It'll belong to Ohio State. So the Hoosiers turn it over. Indiana gives it back to the Buckeyes, who have a chance here to cut it down to 6, which would be as close as they have been in for some time. Up the floor. Simpson starts it to the left. Gets a screen. Can't get away from Graham, however. Bounces away to Skelton. Skelton, top of the key, drives it right against Bailey. Pulls up, flips it back out to Watson. Down low to Funderburk. Turns, fakes, fires, missed the shot again. Calvert Chaney with a rebound. Up the floor to Greg Graham. Graham, right side to Evans. Evans fakes, drives it in the lane. Jump hook, good. Brian Evans, second field goal of the ball game, and it's both been on the same kind of a shot, a kind of a little driving jump hook shot, and he's got 7 points. 44-34, Indiana by 10. Simpson across the timeline. To the right wing on the dribble, still moving with it. Stops, looks for help. Bounces, knocked away. Calvert stole it. Off to Graham. Graham across the timeline, takes it right to Bailey. Bailey puts it up off the glass and in. Damon Bailey scores his 9th point. I thought it went off the glass, but now that I think again, I don't think it ever touched anything but net. 46-34. Here is Simpson to the left wing. Simpson drives on Chaney to the baseline. He's cut off. Brings it back out. Looks for help. Clears to Alex Davis. Davis bounces it in to Funderburk. Lost the handle. Stole it to Brian Evans. Off to Graham. Graham down the left side. Back outside he comes with the ball. Greg, left side to Bailey. A whistle away from the basketball, and we got a foul call on Antonio Watson. Watson gets nailed on the personal. That'll be his second of the ball game. Here comes Ricky Dudley back in for Ohio State. Dudley, a 6'7" sophomore from Henderson, Texas. Dudley picked up 3 fouls in the first half. Damon Bailey inbounds to Brian Evans. Evans brings it outside to Greg Graham. Graham goes to Bailey. Damon turns around and looks. Damon dribbles it backcourt, goes to Calvert on the left wing. Chaney against Skelton, gets it into Graham. Graham fires underneath to Henderson. Henderson puts it up, scores, and a foul. Alan Henderson with his 9th point will go to the line with a chance at a 3-point play. Got a nice feed inside. Dudley was called for the foul, and he has got 4. So Dudley in foul trouble. Tom Brandaway checks into the lineup, and Dudley will sit down for the Buckeyes. 17:21 on the clock. Indiana with a 14-point lead at 48-34. That's their biggest lead of this contest, and at the stripe goes Henderson trying to make it 15. Allen flies it in the air and got it. Henderson has 10 points, and the Hoosiers are up 15 for 49-34 with 17-18 to go. Up the court, Greg Simpson gives to Brandaway. Brandaway drives it to the wing, down to the baseline to Simpson, who fakes, drives in, pulls up, shoots, and missed it. The rebound, Alan Henderson. Henderson clears it out of trouble, brings it down himself across the timeline of the dribble. Allen bounces to Brian Evans. Evans gives it to Calvert. Chaney on the right wing, looks for help, crosses over to Greg Graham. Graham Looks low, comes back to Calvert. He fires a three. He misses the rebound, comes away, and there to Antonio Watson for Ohio State. Now, back up the court comes Simpson. Simpson to the right wing. Looks, cross-courts it off to Davis. Alex Davis brings it outside to Brandaway. Now right side to Simpson. Simpson looks inside, comes back to Davis. Davis now on the dribble. Backcourt move, takes it left, bounces into Brandaway. Outside pass to Skelton. Skelton drives baseline right, fires the shot, no, but a foul. Foul call will go against Indiana, rather. Cheney's last three-point jump shot, Max, was taken a little bit too soon for the mind of Bob Knight, and he brings him over to say something to him about it.
That's the only shot Indiana's missed in this entire second half. Prior to that shot, they were 4 for 4, but most of their shots were all coming right underneath as they were really working it in close.
The foul call was on Damon Bailey, his first foul of the ball game. To the free throw line goes Jamie Skelton, who has 4 points in the afternoon on a pair of field goals in the first half. Skelton fires the first good. Jamie's 5th point of the ball game. You'll remember that Skelton, Max, in the past couple of years has really burned Indiana with three-point shooting, but tonight, or this afternoon we should say, he's not hit any.
2 years ago, I think he just really killed Indiana. Last year he had 11 points in one game, was his best game.
And he hits them both. Skelton has 6 now, and the lead is down to 49-36. Here's Greg Graham on the inbound to Evans against full court pressure. Graham brings it up. Greg across the timeline as they break the press. Greg drives it right, stops, looks for help, clears it to Evans in the corner. Bryant brings it back out of the wing, dribbles it off to Greg Graham. Graham down inside, threw it away. Trying to hit Henderson, and he forced the pass. Here is Simpson the other way, and he scores, and he's fouled. So Greg Graham commits 2 mistakes as he tried to force a pass inside and then gets called for the foul at the other end. And Chris Reynolds will come off the IU bench, and he'll replace Greg in the lineup. 16:03 on the clock. Graham to the sidelines and sits as Reynolds comes in. Simpson to the stripe. Has 2 points in the ball game on a field goal in the first half. Good free throw shooter, 78% of the season. Fires this one up, and he missed it. The rebound batted up, pulled away by Brandaway. Outside pass to Simpson. Now a 3-try. Got it. Greg Simpson fires home his 7th point of the ball game, but a big 4-point play there, or a 5-point play essentially on 2 quick baskets by Simpson. Here's Calvert, and he traveled. Indiana turns it over, and timeout is called with the score IU 49, Ohio State 41. 15:44 to go. Back after this 60-second network timeout.
Hi, this is Woodard Scott for True Value. We'd like to wish the Indiana University basketball team, better known as the Hoosiers, a great season. There are players who play great defense and those who have great jump shots. But the ones who can do both are very versatile, just like the Master Mechanic 2-speed cordless drill for just $19.99. It's portable, so you can take on a lot of jobs indoors or those hard-to-reach areas outdoors. For personal service and low prices, bring your family to the True Value family of stores.
I nestled into booth 12 at Waffle House when I heard that...
May I help you?
...voice. There stood the most lovely, caring...
Nice haircut.
...woman I'd ever met. Over the next hour, we shared...
Well, I'd recommend...
...inner secrets and hot...
coffee.
...topics. You see, I had reached...
Dessert? Fishing tips?
...the service zone.
If we could be open more than day and night, we would. We're more than lip service. We're Waffle House.
I moved to booth 11. Oh, miss...
Before we go any further, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
You're listening to 1550 AM WCBL and 103.9 FM WIMC Crawfordsville.
Well, Max, Indiana almost immediately started the second half, taking it out to a 15-point lead from 8 at halftime, and all of a sudden it's right back down to 8 again.
It certainly is, very much like the first half in which Indiana jumped it up to a 12-point lead, only to see it come down to an 8-point lead almost as quickly in that first half. Coach Knight's not a very happy camper right now. He was at one point refusing to talk to his players along the sideline, but has now knelt down in front of them and is talking to them here. Indiana's 4 of 5 this half, 80%. Ohio State 3 of 6, 50% from the free throw line. Ohio State is in this half.
Back out on the floor. Reynolds, Bailey, Cheney, Henderson, and Evans. And the Buckeyes have Brandewee, Simpson, Watson, Skelton, and Alex Davis. Brandewee will inbound, gets it to Simpson. He'll bring it up. Simpson across the timeline to the left wing. Brings it back outside, then drives across the key, fires the shot, missed it. Rebound, pull out of there by Reynolds. Chris on a break down the floor. Chris takes it in the lane, gives it off to Calvert. Calvert baseline, lost the handle, but he was fouled. So the Hoosiers will go to the stripe. It appears Calvert Cheney for 2. Good hustle by Chris Reynolds at the other end, Max. His defense always seems to turn things around for Indiana.
Well, I've been impressed with Ohio State's defense. I think they've caused Indiana a lot of problems out here today.
Cheney at the line for the first time this afternoon. Cheney with 78% of his free ones dropping this year. Fires home that one. He's got 16 points in this contest now. 6th all-time leading scorer for this Indiana basketball team, and we're talking career-wise for the Big Ten. He's the 2nd all-time leading scorer at Indiana history. And hits them both. He's got 17. Now it's a 10-point Hoosier lead again at 51-41. Up the floor, Simpson to Brandewee. Outside to Skelton. Skelton starts to go to the right side. On the right wing, drives, stops, looks for help. And having trouble, finally clears it low to Brandewee, who kicks it back to Skelton. Now outside to Davis. Davis against Damon Bailey. Circles to the left. Gives it off on the wing to Simpson. Simpson looks it low. Now drives it inside the lane and tried to bounce it away, and it's an offensive foul on Simpson. That'll be Greg Simpson's 3rd personal. So Indiana will have the ball there on the turnover. The 4th team foul of the second half on Ohio State as Evans inbounds to Reynolds. Now up court to Damon Bailey. And Damon gives it back to Chris. They'll cross the timeline with it. Bailey again gets it back from Reynolds. Damon gives back court to Reynolds. Back off to Damon, top of the key. Bailey looks in for Calvert. Can't find him. Goes back to Reynolds on the left wing. Chris jump crosses to Brian Evans, who fakes. Then crosses back out to Reynolds and threw it away. Greg Simpson with a steal, and he pulls it up and he traveled. Greg Simpson just tried a move I have never seen tried in a game in college. A behind the back, one of those dribble it, then behind the back and try to shoot it type horse moves. And he didn't get away with it. Here's Reynolds and Bailey again. Up the floor, Reynolds across the timeline. Chris starts it to the left, gives it back to Damon, top of the key. He looks right, goes low to Calvert, baseline fakes, drives, shoots from 17, got it. Calvert Cheney's got 19 now. Indiana 53, Ohio State 41. Lob into Watson. Baseline turnaround is no good. The rebound to Damon Bailey. Up the floor to Calvert Cheney. Calvert in, lays it up and in. Cheney's got 21. And the Hoosiers start to run again. 55-41. Simpson calls timeout. And the Hoosier fans come to their feet. They were down to 8-point lead, and back up it goes to 14 at 55-41 with 13:52 left. Back after the 60-second network timeout.
Now, Madam Yolanda will read your palm. Oh, you're a farmer. You grow beans.
Soybeans.
I feel a powerful presence. 2 strong forces working together to solve all your problems.
Could it be tricept herbicide?
Are your problems broadleaf weeds and grasses?
Yes.
Like pigweeds, foxtails, cocklebur?
Yeah.
Ah, then the answer is Tricept, made with Scepter herbicide and Triflan herbicide for the most power you can pack in a jug.
All that's in my palm?
No, in your Tricept brochure. Oh, one more thing. See your Cyanamid Agri-Center dealer. Read and follow label directions.
In the Hoosier State, State Farm is there with life insurance that works for Indiana's young families. You're just starting out. You want life insurance that works for your family and for your budget. And you want someone who'll be there to help you keep it working as your needs change. That's why so many of Indiana's young families start with and stay with the State Farm agent for life insurance.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, here at the Assembly Hall where Indiana right now is leading 55-41. Max, it's going back and forth here to this from 8 to 15 to 8 to 14 in about 4 minutes time.
Well, Ohio State's using a zone out there, which at times seems to cause Indiana some problems, and at other times it causes them no problems. Calvert Chaney just having a great afternoon. He is now 9 for 18 shooting. He's got 10 rebounds. That equals his season high. He had that also against Cincinnati and Purdue. This is the 8th time in his career now that he's had a double-double out there. Indiana this half hitting on 6 of 7 shots. Ohio State just 3 out of 7. That run that Ohio State made at Indiana a little while ago before the Hoosiers took over, they did it without Funderburk, which I thought was kind of interesting. Funderburk has missed both shots he's taken this half, has hit only 2 out of 6 shots, and he is not coming back in there again as the Ohio State Bucks come out again.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I think he got himself a little bit in the doghouse on a shot by Damon Bailey when he didn't come out and help out on defense, and that's why he's sitting right now, I think. Here's the inbound. It comes from Derek Anderson. It comes to Brandaway. In fact, head coach Randy Ayers said that he thought that Lawrence was going to have to raise his game to another level. Here's the outside Anderson. Back out it comes to Alex Davis. Now to Skelton. Jamie Skelton flies it to Davis. Davis looks it inside, then lobs it low to Watson. Knocked away by Henderson and out of bounds off of Brian Evans. Well, he almost got the steal. Good effort. Calvert Chaney goes over and slaps hands with Henderson and Evans, saying nice effort. Anderson will inbound it. Derrick gets it into Skelton. Skelton against Reynolds. Fires it outside to Davis. Goes right to Anderson. Anderson down low to Brandaway, who turns in the lane. Fires it no good. A whistle. They're going to call a foul on Evans. And nobody liked that call. So Brian Evans has picked up the personal, his second. Brandaway will go to the free throw line for free tosses here, and Funderburk is going to come back in here as soon as Brandaway gets through with the free tosses. 13:22 left. Brandaway at the line. 2 shots coming. He's hit 3 points in the ball game, and he missed that free throw badly. As we said earlier, not a very good free throw shooter, and he has hit 50% on the year coming into today, and right now he's at 1 of 3. So if he maintains his percentage, he's due on this one. And he missed it. Rebound off to Anderson, however, and he scores. Derek Anderson gets the loose rebound at his 4th point, his first field goal on the rebound basket off the free throw miss. 55-43 IU. Bailey in the corner to Chaney. Calvert brings it back out to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds spins around, looks at left to Chaney. Calvert looks at low. He'll bring it back out to Damon. Bailey with the basketball. Moves it to the left wing. Baseline pass to Calvert. Calvert drives the baseline, in trouble, and apparently, did he call time, or was there ball must have been knocked loose out of bounds, so Indiana will have it. Funderburk back in. Brandaway sits down, and going out of bounds to pass the ball in is Chris Reynolds. Under the Hoosier basket, Reynolds looks, then fires it in backcourt to Brian Evans. Outside to Damon. Bailey turns, goes to Chris Reynolds on the left side, into Henderson, drives underneath, puts it up, and it's stopped. Alan Henderson's got his 12th point. Was that a power move? 57-43 Indiana. Left side dribble. This is Anderson on the move against Reynolds. Then he stops, gives to Skelton. Skelton drives on Bailey to the baseline. Damon cuts him off. Lob pass in backcourt to Alex Davis for Ohio State. Takes it to Anderson, gives it on the dribble, takes it left side, moves it to the wing, stops and looks into Funderburk. Funderburk turns on Henderson, drives, stops, fires it out to Skelton for a 3 try, and no good. Rebound, Brian Evans for IU. Evans clears to Bailey. Damon across the timeline. Bailey right side to Brian Evans on the wing. Back out to Damon. Damon now looks it in, goes to Calvert. Calvert pumps the 3, no good. Rebound inside to Henderson, but a whistle, and we get a foul on Skelton. Jamie Skelton will be called for the foul. That'll be his second of the ball game. And that's the 15th foul against Ohio State. I think Indiana will take it out of bounds. 11:56 on the clock. Rick Dudley is going to come back into the contest now for Ohio State. Dudley comes in for Antonio Watson. Greg Simpson is also back in there for Alex Davis. The inbound will come from Bailey to Calvert. Calvert fakes the 18-footer, gives it outside to Reynolds. Reynolds goes to Bailey in the corner. He flies the three, and he misses. The rebound off the backboard, and behind it, it'll belong to Ohio State. So Damon misses the shot. He has 9 points in the ball game. The guy we haven't heard from scoring-wise today is Greg Graham. He and Matt Nover have only 2 points apiece. Here's Funderburk, a whistle. We got a foul called against IU's Alan Henderson. So Henderson gets nailed for his third personal foul.
Personal foul, Indiana, number 44, Alan Henderson.
Henderson with 3. Out-of-bounds play will take Derek Anderson to pass it in for the Buckeyes into Skelton, and Skelton now circles it in backcourt, lobs it inside, and Alan Henderson steals it. Henderson up the baseline right, and pulls up, cross courts it to Calvert Cheney. Cheney down low to Brian Evans for a 3 try. Got it! Brian Evans, 10th point of the ball game. 60-43 Indiana. Their biggest lead at 17 now. Simpson looks inside, can't find anybody, having trouble. No pass knocked away by Henderson, and he can't save it. That was a great, tough effort again by Alan Henderson, and Calvert Cheney comes over and gives him a hug.
Henderson's just a great steal person in there. He's got 27 steals on the season to lead Indiana in that department. It's amazing how he can do that inside.
Inbound play will be taken by Anderson. Gets it into Skelton. Skelton on the left wing. Cross courts it out to Anderson. Anderson drives baseline. Pulls up in a reverse and missed the shot. Alan Henderson with a rebound to Chris Reynolds. Down the floor come the Hoosiers. Jump pass to Brian Evans. Lost the handle, got it back. Gives to Henderson inside to Reynolds. Knocked away to Evans. Inside to Calvert. Way! Slam dunk! Cheney with 23. And the Hoosiers are working now at all cylinders. 62-43. Indiana by 9. Funderburk lost it on a bound. 17 turnovers now for Ohio State, and the Hoosiers will get the ball back. Todd Leary checks in for Damon Bailey, who gets a pat from Bob Knight. 10:39 to go, and this Hoosier ball club is on a run. Here comes Chris Reynolds across the timeline. Reynolds to Todd Leary. Leary looks low right, drives right, stops, jumps it out to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds, backcourt dribble against Simpson. Spins it right, gives it off to Leary. Down low to Henderson. Knocked away, out of bounds, Indiana ball. Hoosiers will have it with 10:22 to play. Indiana on top 62-43, a 19-point Indiana lead. Calvert Cheney will trigger the inbound pass underneath the Hoosier basket. Gets it to Leary. Todd back out to Chris. Reynolds with the ball, drives it right. Has it knocked away. Inside to Henderson. Reverse layup is good, and it's not going to count. Foul call is on the floor, and Dudley, I think, maybe just fouled out of the ball game. Ricky Dudley, I believe, got nailed for his 5th personal foul. If so, he's gone. Yep, Dudley's 5th. He was very much a non-factor here this afternoon. He had 4 early points in the ball game, and that has been all. Here comes Doug Etzler in now for Jamie Skelton for the Buckeyes. And Charles Macon is back in there for Ohio State. So the freshman from Michigan City for the Buckeyes in the ball game. Brian Evans inbounds to Calvert, outside to Reynolds. Chris looks, gives it out to Brian Evans again, to Todd Leary in the right wing. Leary back off to Calvert. Down low into Henderson, puts it up, reverse layup, good! What a move by Henderson! His 14th point on a left-hand reverse. 64-43. Here's Macon. Bounces to Anderson, driving. Can't do it. Fires it outside to Simpson. Now to Macon. Inside pass to Funderburk. Blocked by Calvert, but a foul. Cheney will be called for the foul, just his 2nd of the ball game. Calvert got one very early and hasn't gotten one until now. So Funderburk will go to the line. 9:47 to go as the Hoosiers lead at 64-43. Funderburk fires the free one. It is around and no good. Funderburk scored 6 points in the first half, and has not scored here in the second half as of yet. The Hoosiers had a 15-2 run. Funderburk's second shot, no good again, and the rebound comes off to Brian Evans. Out outlet to Reynolds. Across the timeline comes Chris to Todd Leary low. Fires an 18-footer. No good. Rebound. Oh, tapped up by Brian Evans. What a tip in for his 12 points. Here comes Anderson with a 3-try. It's no good, and Reynolds has got the rebound. Hoosiers again. Here's Reynolds driving it inside the lane. Pulls up, shoots, and scores! Timeout, Ohio State. The Hoosier fans will come to their feet. How about that run? 68-43 as the Hoosiers start to rip apart the Buckeyes. 9:18 to go. We'll be back after the 60-second network timeout.
The Hoosier Lottery reminds basketball fans that you have to play to win. Dave the Dribbler Nelson looks for star shooter Swiss Sampson for the final shot. But where is he? Oh, no, the Swisters on the sideline signing autographs. The All-Stars lose a heartbreaker, all because of a 7-foot ego trip. Get in the game and win. Play the Hoosier Lottery.
Get some price spread daily from the Hoosier Lottery. Play daily 3 to win up to $500. Or play daily 4, where you could win up to $5,000.
If your car does this, pick up the nearest phone and do this. That's 1-800-LET-NAPA. It's your direct line to the location of the nearest Napa store. That's where you get high-quality parts, plus the advice you need from the Napa professionals. So when you need to hear this, just remember to do this. 1-800-LET-NAPA. Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
17-2 run. 19.
Well, here at the Assembly Hall, this crowd is wound up now as the Hoosiers have been on a big-time run that have stretched the lead to 68-43 with 9:18 to go.
Well, Don, you're right. They are on a big 19-2 run. In the last 4.5 minutes, they've shot 6 out of 8 from the field. They're 12 out of 15 this half. That's 80% shooting for the half. So they are on a roll at the moment as everything they're putting up is going in, as well as playing excellent defense right now.
I believe we have a change in the scoring, at least from the statistical information we were given at halftime. They're going to say Dudley now credited with 3 baskets, and they took the basket, one we had credited for Antonio Watson away. So Watson ended up the first half with just 2 points, and Dudley was 6, so he ends up with 6 for the ball game. So Dudley winds up the day with 6. Watson currently has just 2. 68-43, Indiana by 25, 9:18 to go. This has been a run sparked, I think, by Chris Reynolds and Alan Henderson defensively. Now up the floor, and Henderson is sat down as Mandover is checked in. And with the basketball is Davis, or Simpson rather, who gets it to Funderburk. Funderburk inside fires, no good, but a foul called, and I think they're going to nail Nover on the personal. We'll await to see. It'll be Matt's 3rd foul of the ball game. So Nover gets his 3rd foul. 68-43 the score. Indiana by 25, 9:06 to go. Funderburk missed his last 2 shots on the line.
Ohio State's hit only 2 out of 7 this half.
Funderburk drills that one. He's got 7 points now. Crowd gets a little Lawrence chant going. His second one is up and in. Nothing but net on either one of those. He drilled them both. He's got 8. Now, Calvert Cheney in trouble. Gets away with it to Brian Evans. Evans down the floor. Stops. Holds it up. Gives it outside to Calvert. To Chris. To Todd Leary, right wing. Down low to Nover. Ball batted out of bounds by Funderburk. The Hoosiers will have it. Indiana basketball. Brian Evans will trigger the inbound. Evans looks, fires it to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds in backcourt against Greg Simpson. Reynolds bounces to Calvert in the lane. Fires it off to Brian Evans. He fakes the jump shot. Comes out to Calvert for a 3-try. No good. Rebound comes away to Doug Etzler. Etzler gets it off the floor to Greg Simpson. Down he comes. Right side pass to Derek Anderson. Outside to Macon. Charles Macon drives. Pulls up. Gives to Etzler for a 3-try. He misses. Rebound Macon inside. Then he puts it up and in. Charles Macon scores his first 2 points of the ball game. And Indiana with the basketball and a 21-point lead. Jump pass goes to Leary. Leary brings it up the floor across the timeline. Todd slows in backcourt, gives to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds now, right side to Bryant Evans. Evans looks low, comes back outside to Todd Leary. Down low to Nover, puts it up and scores. Nice speed to Matt Nover for his 4th point. 70-47, 8:02 left. Here's Simpson the other way, pulls and fires, misses the shot, rebound, knocked away, and Todd Leary comes up with it. Down the floor, Leary. Right, left side to Reynolds, into Calvert, baseline, pulls it back out of there. Calvert looked like he had a shot, but says, nope, we're going to slow it down. Now Reynolds starts it to the left side, jumps it off to Leary in the corner. Todd brings it back out on the wing. Down low it comes inside, and the foul call is going to go against Derek Anderson. Anderson will be nailed on the personal. That will be, I believe, just his first of the ball game. We'll see. Anderson's first foul. That's the 17th foul whistle against the Buckeyes, so the Hoosiers now go to the 1-1, and Calvert Chaney will go to the line. Etzler, Anderson, and Thunderberg all to the sidelines for Ohio State. Antonio Watson comes in along with Jamie Skelton and Alex Davis. Calvert Chaney to the stripe with 23 points this afternoon. Calvert has had 22, 30, 33 in his last 3 games, and 23 already in this one, and now 24. Looking for number 25 as it's 71-47 with 7:37 to go in this contest. Crowd gets very, very quiet, and the second shot is in the air. Good. He's got 25. Calvert with 25 big ones this afternoon, and the Hoosiers are on top again by 25, 72-47. Macon drives it left, stops, bounces to Skelton. Down low, jump shot, around and in. Jamie Skelton gets one to drop. His first field goal of the second half, his 8th point of the ball game. Now, Bryant Evans is fouled by Davis. Full court pressure being applied by Ohio State. Alex Davis gets called for the foul. That is his 3rd of the ball game. Looks like Greg Graham is going to check back into the Hoosier lineup now. Bryant Evans will go to the line. Graham is going to come in for Bryant Evans at the next opportunity, it would appear. 7:20 left. Evans today has 12 points and now 13. He has one more shot coming. He has played just exceptional basketball as a redshirt freshman for this Hoosier squad in the last 4 contests. And he drills them both. He'll check to the sideline with 14 this afternoon. Greg Graham checks in. And Brian gets a standing O. This guy has made a big difference on the front line for IU in depth. And across the timeline, Simpson for Ohio State. Down low, passes inside. It comes to Watson, who misses the shot. Rebound, knocked away to Calvert. Chaney to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds slows to Calvert again on the left wing. Calvert pulls it back out to Graham. Graham now looks, comes outside to Todd Leary. Leary goes to Chaney, fakes the 3, drives in, fires a 15-footer. No good. Rebound taken down by Charles Macon. That's about the worst shot we've seen Calvert take in a couple of weeks. He missed everything but the backboard. 74-49. Here's Macon, bounces it inside to Skelton, fires a jump shot way short, rebound over. Matt clears it away to Todd Leary. Leary up the floor across the timeline, slows. Todd still in the dribble, starts it to the left side. Looking down low, can't find Chaney, gives it to Nover. Nover finally clears it back out to Reynolds. Chris now starts it right, comes back left to Graham, who fires the jump shot. Got it! Greg Graham for his first field goal of the ball game, his 4th point. Now it's 76-49, and Pat Knight gets set to come in. Across the timeline, this is Simpson for a 3 try. It's no good. Rebound knocked up in the air, pulled away by Watson. Watson for Ohio State takes it out of trouble to Skelton. Skelton now drives it baseline, cut inside, and puts the shot in. Jamie Skelton with a nice move for his 10th point. 76-51, the Hoosiers by 25. Here is Chris Reynolds across the timeline. Right side pass to Leary. Todd looks inside, back out it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds now on the right side of the free throw lane. Inside to Calvert, and he puts it up, and he's fouled. Watson is the man who got him, and Calvert will go to the line with 25 this afternoon. And this may be his last opportunity to score in this game, because I believe Bob Knight is going to send Patrick Knight into the contest to replace Calvert. That will be the case. Chaney has 25 points in this ball game. He is 4 for 4 today from the line. He has hit just 1 3. 78% of his free throws have gone in this year, and he is really starting to up that mark in each and every ball game. He does not miss many from the stripe. 5:36 left, and the Hoosiers by 25 as Cheney tries to make it 27. If he can hit them both, the first is in the air, and it is good. Calvert Cheney with 26. And the All-American from Evansville, Indiana, is proving why very possibly he could be the player of the year in college basketball if he continues to perform the rest of the season like he is. Calvert highs for number 2. Up it goes, and it is good. Cheney finishes his day, I believe, with 27. And he'll go to the sideline with a standing ovation as Pat Knight replaces him. Calvert Cheney with 27 today. That's 22, 30, 33, and 27 in his last 4 games.
And 11 rebounds, a steal, and an assist.
He has been something. Left side dribble, Simpson, low to Davis, inside to Watson. Jump hook is good. Antonio Watson scores his 4th point of the ball game. It's 78-53. Greg Graham up the floor with the basketball across the timeline. Guarded by Anderson. The ball's batted out of bounds by Anderson, and Indiana will have it. Calvert Cheney, player of the week last week in the Big Ten, has another great chance to be this week with 33 and 27-point performances. Here's Chris Reynolds. Down to the left side, jumps it to Greg Graham. He moves it right, fires a 12-footer and got it. All of a sudden, Graham fires up for his 6th point of the ball game, and it's 80-53. 5 minutes left. Here is a dribble by Simpson to the left side. Takes it to the wing, gives it off to Davis. He drives baseline, fires it up, no good. Rebound, put back up, no. And there'll be a technical foul called as Derek Anderson went up to grab the rim and then tried to slam it home anyway, but he grabbed the rim, no question about the call. And so the technical foul is called. Let's see who goes to the free throw line. Probably Todd Leary. Nope, it'll be Leary. I think Knight said Greg first, and then Leary was walking right to the free throw line like, hey, why not me? And Coach Knight said, why not? So Leary at the line. Todd with 2 points in the ball game, and he just drilled his 3rd. All 3 have come from the stripe this afternoon. He'll have 1 more coming on the technical. Leary fires them both good. He's got 4. And Indiana now is on top 82-53. They've advanced the lead to 29 points in this one with 4:51 to go.
They're perfect this half from the free throw line, 11 of 11.
Chris Reynolds across the timeline on the spin dribble. Looks left, gives to Graham. Graham in the lane, fires it up, and got it, and a foul. Greg Graham with a follow-through effort. He fires home his 8th point. Maxey comes off the bench after being banished for a while and fires home 3 quick field goals. All of a sudden, he's instant offense.
Certainly is. He was 0 for 3 in the first half. He shot early on, didn't even come close, really, with those shots. Now he's 3 for 3 in this half. He hasn't missed one.
And going to the free throw line will be Greg Graham for a 3-point play try.
Indiana's rebounding has been outstanding. They were at 1 point a minute ago, 39-23. This half, 15-7 over Ohio State.
Graham flies it in the air and got it. That's Greg's 9th point of the ball game. 85-53 with 4:41 left. Backcourt dribble, Greg Simpson. Simpson to the left side and stops, fires it backcourt away to Derek Anderson, who goes to Charles Macon on the right wing. He moves inside with a pass to Watson, who fires it back to Macon, outside to Simpson. Simpson drives it right side, pulls up, fires it good. Greg Simpson with a driving jumper. He's got his 9th point of the ball game, and it's 85-55. Pat Knight bounces to Matt Nover. Nover turns around, and Watson puts it up, missed it, blocked away, and it's pulled out of there by Simpson. Simpson on a break now, lobs it to Macon, and it's thrown in. Charles Macon with an alley-oop play gets his 4th point. 85-57, 4:02 to go in the ball game. And the Hoosiers, Leary inbounds to Chris Reynolds. Reynolds brings it back down the floor across the timeline. Chris to Todd Leary in the right wing. Todd crosses out to Pat Knight. Pat looks it inside. He turns, fires it to Leary, who fakes the shot, spins to the baseline, lobs it in and threw it away. Tried to hit Nover, and the pass was overthrown. Lob pass the other way goes to Anderson. Anderson almost lost it, then throws up a 3 and missed it. The rebound comes off to Nover. Matt's got the basketball. He'll clear it out of there. And finally it goes to Greg Graham. Graham across the timeline. Graham Drives it left. Gives to Pat Knight. Pat fakes. Turns around. Tried to get it out to Graham. It was kicked off the foot of Anderson to Graham. And we're going to have a timeout call with 3:18 to go. And Indiana on top, 85-57 with 3:18 left. We'll be back after the 60-second break. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
See the grain drill built for all field conditions, no till included. The John Deere 750 now at Jackson Lee Pearson in Frankfort. Use the 750 drill for any conservation seeding or any conventional seeding. Excellent accuracy and depth control. It's available in 10 or 15-foot working widths or 30 feet with a 2-unit hitch. See the John Deere 750 drill today at Jackson Lee Pearson on State Road 28 in Frankfort. We're working hard to earn your business.
Cold weather means it's time for a good hot meal from Zock's Family Restaurant in Crawfordsville. Stop in for dinner, lunch, or breakfast, and you'll have a full menu of food favorites to choose from. Breakfast items are available all day. There's a daily lunch special every weekday, and for dinner, choose from Zock's selection of steaks, chops, seafood, chicken, or sandwich platters. Stop in soon and enjoy a delicious meal at Zock's Family Restaurant, Highway 231, south edge of Crawfordsville.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
You're listening to 1550 AM WCBL and 103.9 FM WIMC Crawfordsville.
Forgot to pass this along, but our guests at halftime receive a gift certificate from D-Dan's Gentlemen's and Ladies Clothier of Indianapolis. D-Dan's has updated classic clothing, sportswear, and accessories for men and women. They're open daily Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6, and on Wednesday and Thursday open till 9. That's D-Dan's Clothing to complement your lifestyle on West 86th Street at Township Line Road in the North Woodland Mall in Indianapolis.
Well, down the last 4 games, Indiana has shot almost 60% in the second half on an average. Today, they're even upping that. They are shooting 76% in this half on 16 of 21. For the game now, they're nearly 53% shooting.
Indiana will have the ball out of bounds underneath their own hoop. We're down to 3:18 to go on this one, and the Hoosiers have put this one away. All but the final is in doubt. As Pat Knight will inbound, Nover, Leary, Chris Reynolds, and Greg Graham, the lineup for the Hoosiers. Pat Knight will inbound it, gets it in to Leary. He brings it out to Chris Reynolds in backcourt. Chris drives it left, gives it off to Leary. He fires up the jump shot, got it. Todd Leary's got his 6th point, his first field goal of the day. It's 87-57. The Hoosiers lead by 30. Here's the lob down low, knocked away and stolen by Leary. New face in the ball game for the Buckeyes is Nate Wilborn. Here's Leary into Nover, puts it up and no, but a foul. And Wilborn will be called for the personal. That'll be his first. So Matt Nover will go to the free throw stripe. He has not been very successful from there this afternoon. He has 4 points in the ball game.
Don, we think he's going to challenge Indiana's 12 for 12 shooting this half. What do you think?
He'll have 2 chances. The first is up. It's good. Nover's got his 5th point of the ball game. He's got 1 more coming. Matt will try to make it a 32-point game, and he does. Nover got him both. He's got 6, and the Hoosiers are 14 for 14 from the line in the second half. Here is Greg Simpson. Looks backcourt. Having trouble. Finally gets it outside to Anderson. Anderson now starts it back right, comes left, gives it off to Ratliff, who's checked in the ball game. Jimmy Ratliff is new face in there. Off to Simpson, who drives and shoots no good, but a foul call is on Chris Reynolds. Reynolds gets nailed on the push. His 2nd foul of the ball game. And it'll put Greg Simpson at the free throw line for Ohio State. 9 points for Simpson this afternoon, including a 3 here in the second half. He has not been to the line yet today. 78% shooter on the season from the stripe. And he'll have 2 shots coming. 89-57 score. Simpson drills the first of 2. He's got 10 now. And he'll have 1 more shot. 89-58, 2:37 left. Simpson eyes number 2 and got it to roll in. He's got 11. And Indiana with the basketball. Leary across the timeline. Slows, takes it right wing, stops, drives baseline, spins back out. Todd gives to Pat Knight. Knight now takes it left on the wing. Looks, cross-courts it off to Todd Leary. He pulls it back out to Nover. Nover now. Looks inside. Comes to Chris Reynolds with a pass. Reynolds drives inside. Jumps it up to Pat Knight for the jump shot, and he missed it. Rebound, Nover knocks it away, but it's picked off in there by Wilborn. Down the floor to Ratliff. Ratliff on the left wing. Cross courts it away to Simpson. Simpson now looks down low. Baseline to Anderson, inside to Macon. Macon lost the handle. Knocked away, but picked out of there by Anderson. Anderson pulls up inside to Macon again, and this time he scores. Charles Macon, 6 points. 89-61 the score with 1:48 left. Here's Greg Graham the other way. Fires it right side to Pat Knight. Baseline jump shot short again. The rebound to Macon. Back the other way comes Simpson. Bounces to Anderson. He takes it inside, and Chris Reynolds is called for a foul. Reynolds gets nailed on the personal. That'll be his third of the ball game, and it'll put Derek Anderson to the free throw line. So Anderson goes to the stripe. Anderson has 4 points in the ball game. 89-61 the count with 1:36 left, and the free one is good. That's his 5th point of the contest. 1:36 to go in the contest, and Indiana has dominated most of the second half.
12 of 18 for Ohio State as a team now.
And he hits number 2. So Anderson has poured in his 6th point of the game. It's now 89-63. Here's Greg Graham. Jumps it off to Pat Knight. Looks it down low. Brings it back out to Reynolds. Chris turns. Drives it left. Stops. Cross courts to Todd Leary. Leary fakes. Drives it in the lane. Jumps it back to Pat Knight. Knight again inside. Fires this one off the glass and got it. Pat Knight's first 2. 91-63, and all the Hoosiers have now scored in this ball game. Here's the steal. Here's Graham to Reynolds. Reynolds drives, lays it up, and missed the reverse, but it's slammed in by Graham on the rebound. 11 for Greg Graham now. Here is Ratliff. 93-63, the lead back to 30. Simpson inside, fires it good. Greg Simpson scores. He's got 13. Back up the floor come the Hoosiers. It's 48 seconds on the clock. Pat Knight slows, cross courts at the Leary for a 3 try. He got it. Todd Leary has got 9. 96-65. Up the floor quickly, Anderson the other way. He gets it inside to Simpson, who takes it all the way and puts it in. No defense on that play at all for Indiana. 15 for Simpson. 26 seconds to go. Reynolds to Pat Knight. Baseline inside to Nover. Nover puts it up and missed it. Rebound Graham. Knocked away from him. Simpson's on the break down the floor for Ohio State. Simpson drives in. Fires it up. Missed the shot. Rebound Ratliff, and he scores. Jimmy Ratliff's first 2. 8 seconds to go. It's 96-69. And the Hoosiers are going to be content just to hold on to the basketball. 2-1, and that's it. Indiana victorious today over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Pretty much a breeze as the second half comes to a close, and Indiana wins it 96-69 at the Assembly Hall in Bloomington.
Hey, Don, we haven't said about this dummy that somebody brought in that looked exactly like Coach Knight, dressed like him, and has been holding him down here. At the end of the game, Chris Reynolds went over and shook his hand.
So, the final again here this afternoon at the Assembly Hall. Indiana, 96. Ohio State, 69. We'll be back to recap the broadcast of this ball game after we pause for the 60-second network timeout.
The game's heating up, Bob. Look at that. I don't believe it, Bob. The coach is bringing in a Canon NP6060 from Copyright. A Canon NP6060, Bob? The copier that shoots a copy a second. Holds 6,100 sheets of paper. And has Copyright's exclusive total lifetime coverage. With service in 4 hours or they pay you. And a lifetime money-back guarantee. No wonder Copyright's Indiana's biggest. Copyright. The smart choice. That's the Canon NP6060 from Copyright. Put it on your office team. Call Copyright. And do it today, if not sooner.
University Broadcasting Company is proud to bring you IU basketball. University Broadcasting serves Indiana with the finest in sports radio. University Broadcasting Company operates 2 sports networks and 7 radio stations, including WHHH, Hoosier 96 in Indianapolis, WBWB, B97 in Bloomington, WGCT in Ellettsville, and WAZY, Z96 in Lafayette. University Broadcasting Company is Indiana's radio broadcasting company. Thanks for listening.
Looking at the scoring now for this afternoon's game.
Well, back at the Assembly Hall where this afternoon Indiana picks up its 6th Big Ten win of the season without a loss. and overall now stands 17-2 in the campaign, while the Ohio State Buckeyes are now 9-5 on the year and 2-3 in the Big Ten. The Hoosiers this afternoon with a 96-69 triumph over the Ohio State Buckeyes. And let's look at the individual scoring in this ball game this afternoon. For Ohio State, Doug Etzler, who started the ball game, did not score. Jamie Skelton had 10. Lawrence Funderburk finishes the day with 8 points, only 2 free throws in the second half. Ricky Dudley had 6. Alex Davis had 9. Greg Simpson had 15. Derek Anderson had 6. 3 for Tom Brandewee. 6 for Charles Macon. 2 for Jimmy Ratliff. 4 for Antonio Watson, and Nate Wilborn did not score. So the Buckeyes this afternoon had just 2 players in double figures, Greg Simpson with 15 and 10 for Jamie Skelton. For Indiana today, Chris Reynolds had 2. Damon Bailey had 9. 6 points for Matt Nover. 27 for Calvert Chaney, and another sensational performance. 14 for Alan Henderson. 11 for Greg Graham. 14 for Brian Evans. Todd Leary had 9 and 2 for Patrick Knight. So the Hoosiers today had 4 players in double figures, led by the tremendous performance again of Calvert Chaney, who had 27 today. A 14-point apiece performance from Brian Evans off the bench and Alan Henderson, and 11 for Greg Graham. We'll be back to take a look at the team statistics on today's ball game in a moment. But first, let's pause for the 60-second network timeout.
Got the dummy.
When your skin is dry, so dry it itches. Aveeno, soothing skincare with natural oatmeal for dry, itchy skin. Aveeno cleansers and moisturize skin. No soap, no fancy perfumes. Just powder fine oatmeal blended with rich amayas to relieve dryness. A little oatmeal can be put all over. Dermatologist recommended. Aveeno.
Hi, David Garner again, president of Connect Long Distance. Now, I notice one of the big phone companies is giving you discounts if you call your friends, which is fine. Except that in the real world, you probably spend more time talking to people you don't like very much. And where's your big discount for that? With Connect, it's just as cheap to call the guy who plowed into the back of your car at the mall. Anywhere from 5 to 20% cheaper than the big boys' basic rates. Every minute of every hour of every day. So call us at 1-800-326-SAVE. See, we're saving you money already.
So Victor over the Ohio State Buckeyes 96-69. Bob Knight is out there right now with Al McGuire of CBS, and he just brushed off his sport coat and then kind of patted him on the face a little bit, I guess, to give him a little more blush look in the camera. Max, the Hoosiers win this afternoon with a tremendous Big Ten win, and their 6th of the season without defeat.
Well, they certainly did, and they did it with some absolutely outstanding shooting in the second half, in which they shot 20 of 29 for 68.9%. It was even better than that until they missed a few there at the end. But they had a horrendous first half, hitting only 12 of 32 for just 37.5. They end up the game 32 of 61, 52.5. For Ohio State, they had a poor first half also, just 46%, but not nearly as poor as Indiana's on 13 of 28. Second half, they were only slightly better, 14 of 28, 50%. They finished the afternoon 27 of 56, 48%. From three-point range, Indiana finishes the afternoon 4 of 11. They were 2 of 5 the first half, 2 of 6 in the second. For Ohio State, they were just 2 of 11 from three-point range. They are a team that hits about 32% for the Big Ten season, 35% for the year. But today they were just 18% on 2 of 11. From the free throw line, Indiana went to the line 12 more times than did the Buckeyes and hit 28 out of 33, almost 85%, 84.8 to be precise. Ohio State 13 of 21, 61.9. So Indiana certainly has found its eye from the free throw line, as Matt Nover hit 2 of 4 this afternoon for 50%. He had come into this game hitting only 3 of 13 in Big Ten play. Greg Graham again, outstanding 3 of 3. He is now 16 of 17 on the season for the Big Ten. Damon Bailey, another. He is now 16 for 19 in Big Ten play. And Brian Evans missed 2 today, which is unusual for him. He has now hit 7 out of a total of 9. So some really outstanding free throw shooting. Rebounding, Indiana much better than the smaller Ohio State Buckeyes, as they out-rebound Ohio State 42-29. And the turnovers, Indiana had 12. The Ohio State Buckeyes had 19. Well, Calvert Chaney with his, and he's now getting a hand as the fans applaud as he walks off the floor after having an interview, has hit 10 out of 22 this afternoon. He's moving closer and closer up the Big Ten scale. He needed 31 points to move into 5th place in the Big Ten around Steve Smith, and he is now within about 5 points or so of that. Alan Henderson was 5 of 9 this afternoon. Matt Nover 3 of 6. Greg Graham hit 4 out of 8 shots. Damon Bailey hit only 2 out of 7 tonight as he slipped off again on his percentage. Chris Reynolds was 1 of 2. Todd Leary 2 of 3. Brian Evans, who had some really poor shooting early in the season. As a matter of fact, his season shooting average is only 43%. Big Ten is 52, so you can see he shot much better in the Big Ten. This afternoon, 4 for 4. You can't do much better than that. Pat Knight was 1 of 3. For Ohio State, Funderburk just 2 out of 6 shots tonight, as Indiana was very effective against him. Dudley finishes the afternoon 3 of 3. Jamie Skelton 4 of 10. Alex Davis 4 of 7. Greg Simpson 6 of 14. And Derek Anderson 1 of 7. Charles Macon finishes 3 of 3, the young man from Michigan City. And Antonio Watson 2 of 4 shooting-wise. Well, Calvert Chaney, just a great afternoon in addition to his shooting. 11 rebounds. He had an assist, he had a steal, and he had a block shot. Alan Henderson had 8 rebounds and a steal. Matt Nover had 6 rebounds. Damon Bailey 4. He had 2 assists and 2 steals. Chris Reynolds had a couple of rebounds. He had an assist. Greg Graham had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Brian Evans, 6 rebounds this afternoon, 1 assist. Todd Leary had a couple of rebounds. Pat Knight had an assist for the Hoosiers. For the Ohio State Buckeyes, their rebounding, their best rebounder turned out to be Funderburk and Macon, each with 4 rebounds. And the next best was Antonio Watson with 3 rebounds. All the rest had 2 or less. Well, the biggest lead Indiana had this afternoon was a 32-point lead, which they held on 2 occasions at 85-53, and again at 89-57, and they win it here this afternoon, 96-69.
Well, the Hoosiers with their biggest blowout of Ohio State since 1976 this afternoon. Joe Smith says it was a 96-67 win, a 29-point-plus performance for the Indiana Hoosiers in 76. This afternoon, Max, it was almost that brilliant 27-point victory here today, and certainly one of the bigger wins that they're going to probably have in Big Ten play, because no victories are going to come easy, it would seem.
Well, of course, here in Assembly Hall, they are so good. They now have a 25-game home court winning streak. I think that's the second best in the nation. I think only UNLV has a better record. It's up like 56 or 7 right now. But Indiana with the 25 one dating back to 1990-91 season. Overall, just to show you how good they've been here, they are 267 wins with only 35 losses. That is just a tick under 89% wins. So they win almost 9 out of every 10 games they play.
Well, the Hoosiers now stand perfect 6-0 in the Big Ten, 17-2 overall. The Buckeyes are 9-5, 2-3 in the conference. Today's ball game has been brought to you in part by Indiana Gas. For efficiency, comfort, and a cleaner environment, natural gas is your best energy value season after season. By your local Napa Auto Parts store. Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. By your local Amoco Certicare Repair Centers. By the Hoosier Lottery, where you've got to play to win. By State Farm Insurance and the more than 500 State Farm agents throughout Indiana. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By the real estate professionals at the 121 Century 21 offices in Indiana. By True Value Hardware. Got a tough job? You can do it with True Value Hardware stores. By Squadron Herbicide for a higher level of soybean weed control. And by Indiana's rural electric cooperatives, consumer-owned for service excellence. Our special thanks today to our studio producer, Gary Klein, to our statistician, Joe Smith. Now this is Don Fisher for Max Scroven, inviting you to stay tuned next for the IU postgame show. We'll be rejoining you in just a couple of minutes. So long, everybody.
Do you have water spots in your dishes and glassware? Are your clothes dull and dingy after laundering? Does your skin feel dry and rough? If so, you need a Puritan water conditioning unit. Puritan soft water turns clothes whiter and makes dishes sparkle. Puritan soft water keeps your skin smooth and your hair shining. Puritan has over 40 models to choose from. Puritan Water Conditioning, 216 Lafayette Avenue, Crawfordsville. Phone 362-6340. Puritan, another name for soft water.
This is WCVL WIMC General Manager Dick Monroe. Over the last several days, weeks, and months, we've been hearing a lot about change, most of it on the national level. But I'm here to tell you that not all the changes are going to be made in Washington, D.C. In the coming month of February, we're planning several changes right here on WCVL and WIMC Radio. We're going to change our traditional home show to a brand new business expo. We're planning an all-new radio auction so you can save money out here on the radio. We're making changes on WIMC FM to bring you better sounding adult music and more live announcers. We'll also be making changes to the programming on WCVL. The first of these major changes will happen on WCVL Monday, February 1st at 3:05 in the afternoon. Now already WCVL brings you Paul Harvey, Peter Jennings, Bobby Knight, Gene Cady, Marty and Joe, and other well-known personalities. But Monday, we're going to add another famous personality to our lineup. Nationally, no, internationally known. And you can not only listen, but you can call in and talk. This first big change is coming Monday, February 1st. You can't hear it anywhere now, but you will hear it beginning Monday, February 1st at 3:05 in the afternoon on 1550 WCVL. This is the biggest change we've made in years, and we think you'll really like this one.
You're listening to 1550 AM WCVL and 103.9 FM WIMC Crawfordsville.
It's cold season. There are many cold medicines available, including some new ones. Before you try them, remember, doctors trust Dimetap. In fact, doctors have recommended the Dimetap brand over 200 million times. You can trust Dimetap Extend tabs for adult strength relief of your worst nasal congestion, sniffling, and sneezing for 12 hours with one of the least sedating non-prescription antihistamines. No wonder doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours. Use as directed.
On a big victory this afternoon, second biggest win for Indiana over Ohio State, blowout-wise, since 1976.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry I was late coming up here. There's a TV set there in the back, and Al McGuire was interviewing Coach Knight, interviewing the boss. When the boss is on national TV, well, you better stay there and watch. I was just thinking, look, one of those two guys invented basketball, I think. I don't know which one, but one of the two. Do you think that's what that old peach basket is back there in the office? You saw that thing back there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did see it. I didn't put that question to him, however, and I don't think I will.
I don't think I will either.
Norm, first of all, Ohio State played you a very tough ball game, especially in the first half.
Well, they give you a look that you're not used to. A three-guard offense with super quickness. I was trying to think before the ball game who we'd played that was that quick. Of course, Michigan's quick, but they do it with giants, and you go back to maybe Tulane and Cincinnati and those folks. But this is a really a quick team. So they make you play a little bit differently. And we had Calvert had to guard their point man for a while and early, and so we didn't play that sharp early. And I kind of think that's because of what Ohio State had to do with it.
Obviously, one of the things that they try to do is penetrate with their dribble. You don't let them do that very well. I mean, Indiana does a great job of cutting that off.
Well, we had to, and Coach Felling did a tremendous job with it. This was his ball game. He came up with couple really super switches that helped us out. So I think that's why he wore his big three-piece suit that he had on. Did you notice him over there?
I really did.
Old fella's not just another pretty face. I mean, he's got a little class, and when he comes up with a game plan like he did, why, he deserves a lot of the credit.
I don't think we can say enough about Calvert Cheney. Again today, 27 points. He had 11 rebounds. He did turn it over 4 times, so I guess if you want to look for some kind of a cloud, there it is.
Yeah, the first half wasn't that hot, and we went through, both he and Henderson caught a little bit of interesting comments at halftime. Nothing else, not ask him to do super things, just get with it and play your game. And geez, that basket is as big as a wash tub to Calvert now. The way he's playing, and I guess that's what they call being in a zone or something. And he's really, really playing smooth. And I think this is what we get 30 the last 2 nights, and then 27 tonight again. So I'm sure glad he's on our side.
No question about that. We'll be back, talk more with Norm Ellenberger in a moment. First, let's pause for the 60-second timeout.
If you took advantage of last year's low interest rates and refinanced your mortgage, here's an important tax reminder from the Indiana CPA Society. Unlike the points on your original mortgage, points paid on a refinanced mortgage are fully deductible in the year paid only to the extent that you used the loan's proceeds to make home improvements. The balance must be deducted equally each year over the life of the loan. For more information on this or other tax or business matters, contact a certified public accountant or the Indiana CPA Society. CPAs make a difference.
University Broadcasting Company is proud to bring you IU basketball. University Broadcasting serves Indiana with the finest in sports radio. University Broadcasting Company operates 2 sports networks and 7 radio stations, including WHHH, Hoosier 96 in Indianapolis, WBWB, B97 in Bloomington, WGCT in Ellettsville, and WAZY, Z96 in Lafayette. University Broadcasting Company is Indiana's radio broadcasting company. Thanks for listening.
Back once again on the IU postgame show. Norm Ellenberger, our guest. Norm, just a little bit about off-the-bench play again today with Brian Evans. Guy comes in, gives you 14 points and nothing but steady basketball.
Did he miss a shot? I don't know what he...
Did not. 4 for 4.
He's 4 for 4. And those all weren't really easy shots. He had a couple from the outside, a couple of the drive. And then something that you didn't see, people don't really notice is his defense. Doggone, for a big old slow kid that's kind of cumbersome and awkward, and he's not that slow and cumbersome and awkward. Boy, it amazes me sometimes how he gets down in the stance, and he's the kind of kid that's got to get better every game. If he doesn't get better every game, there's something wrong.
Norm, they made a couple runs at you. You got up 12 points in the first half. They cut it down. You got up 15 in the second half. They got it back to 8. Both times they went into a zone. It bothered you a little bit, did it?
Well, they changed defenses on us, and they ran a little matchup zone, and we didn't get the penetration that we wanted. And then along there, especially the first half, we kind of shoot it in a little bit from the perimeter, and we didn't hit. Greg Graham had a very poor first half offensively, and kind of in the second half when Coach inserted Chris Reynolds, that gave us a shot in the arm, and that's one of the great things that Chris can do. It's he put him in the ball game, and Ohio State's quick, but he doesn't take a back seat to anybody, and I thought he really added along in that line there too.
Well, you went on a 19-2 run right then, and that really blew things away.
Yeah, that's good. They had some good defense. Of course, we had Leary played a lot in that. Evans played a lot that time. Matt Nober and I were on the bench discussing things.
Matt hit 2 free throws.
Yeah, he did. Well, Coach said this week, he said, well, do you think this will work with Nober? We've been trying to adjust his shot, and so I got him out. He shot 150 free throws the way Coach wanted him to shoot in that after practice a couple times this week, and I had to stay with him. He made me late for dinner. I said, Nover, for crying out loud, start making free throws. But he's coming. It's bothered him. It really has. And there's no greater competitor on our ball club or a guy that wants to win any more than Nover. And we get him out of the Star Wars that he's in now, he'll come back and finish the season out good.
Well, I don't think he knew this, but at the point he hit those 2 free throws, your ball club had been perfect in the second half. They were like 11 for 11 or 13 for 13, whatever it was. We were wondering whether he's going to be able to hold it out, and he sure enough did.
He probably felt the pressure from his fellow players.
Obviously, it was good to get home again, too.
Well, and that may answer it a little bit to the slowness in our starts. You know, we go on the road and it's really a war, and now all of a sudden, oh boy, it's going to be easy because we're home. Well, if it was going to be easy because we're home, those last three guys we played would be feeling a lot better than they do right now. You know, and that. So I think this is one of the things that Coach Knight was really guarding on this year or this entire week, and it took him till halftime to really get it across to him.
Well, obviously a big win this afternoon, and of course you've got another home ball game before you get to go on the road again for 3 more.
Well, Minnesota, I've been watching the Minnesota films, and this baby's going to be like the World Wrestling Federation, you know, and they are strong and powerful, and it'll be exactly the opposite of this. Not necessarily because they're not quick, but because of the power inside. You know, Carter and that crew that they've got inside, they'll pick you and the ball up both and dunk you, and it'll really test us inside. So, but way back when we said, what's new in the Big Ten? That's just the way it is.
Norm, we appreciate your joining us. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot.
Norm Ellenberger, our guest in the postgame. We'll be back with a final thought or two right after we pause for the 60-second timeout.
For a healthier America, I'm Alex Burton, brought to you by the makers of Cepacol and Cepastat throat lozenges. When you fly, be sure to drink plenty of fluids. That will help to counter flyers' flu. It's the tight quarters and the low humidity levels of the cabin that allow flu and cold viruses to survive. Wash your hands often. Those flu viruses can hang around to make you sick for 24 hours. And for the rest of us, if you're sick, don't fly so we can stay well.
So, you've got a sore throat. How sore is it? And you took a candy-type cough drop. Well, you should have tried a Cepacol lozenge. And you? How's your throat? Oh, really sore, huh? You need a Cepastat lozenge. Skip the candy. Sore throats need Cepacol lozenges. Really, really sore throats need Cepastat lozenges. Use only as directed.
Hey, Willard Scott here. You know, every day more and more heartburn sufferers are discovering Riopan Plus 2. Listen to my friend Andy from Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Well, Willard, I had this problem. I was getting this awful acid indigestion, but I had to be careful about salt. My doctor told me to try Riopan Plus 2. He said it was really fast and it was sodium-free. It really worked great.
So tell me, Andy, what's your antacid from now on?
Riopan Plus 2.
Isn't it time you discovered Riopan Plus 2? Use only as directed.
For Ohio State, Greg Simpson with 15.
Well, the official score not quite as generous as we were with our stats. He gives Indiana only 65% shooting in the second half on 20 of 31. So for the game, they finished 50.8. For the Ohio State Buckeyes, they finished 46.6 shooting percent, as once again, Indiana holds its opponent below that 50% margin.
Don't forget tomorrow night, the Bob Knight Talk Show over most of these same network stations, starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time. And, of course, join us on Wednesday night when the Hoosiers take up where they've left off in this Big Ten season with the Minnesota Golden Gophers here at the Assembly Hall. Airtime for the Bob Knight pregame show is 7:40, followed by the tip at 8:05. Until then, for Max Skirvin and Joe Smith, Don Fisher, so long, everybody.
103.9 FM, WIMC, Crawfordsville.
The WIMC 103.9